The wild footsteps echo across the land, beating like nature's own drums, as millions of creatures surge together across the African savanna. On these boundless plains, they push forward with urgency, crossing raging rivers that roar as if they could swallow everything whole. The herds remain relentless and unyielding, driven by the call of life itself, the tender green pastures that appear only briefly after a fleeting storm. This is the Great Migration, one of the planet's most astonishing epics, yet it is also a brutal trial. 1 in 10 will fall along the way. Still, the tide presses on, a wild, indomitable force, pounding like the heartbeat of the earth, always moving, always striving forward. Since the 1970s, the African savanna has echoed with an endless cycle of survival. Each year, more than 1.7 million wildebeest, 260,000 zebras, and 470,000 gazelles embark on a monumental migration epic. From the Serengeti to the Masai Mara, they cross over 1,200 miles of sun-scorched, unforgiving land, driven by the hope of reaching fresh green pastures and life-giving waters. Every stride, every leap, is more than movement. It is a race for life itself, where fragile existence is constantly tested by the looming presence of death. The wildebeest herds surge forward like an endless raging tide, sweeping up clouds of dry grass in the wind. Their hooves never stop, all driven toward the promised land. Each weighing up to 600 pounds, they face the merciless trials nature has set upon this path of life and death. But for calves barely 40 pounds, the world is a cruel survival test. Predators lurk in the shadows, waiting for the slightest mistake. Roars tear through the night, mingling with desperate cries that echo beneath the vast savanna skies. And yet, the greatest trial still lies ahead, the Mara River. Beneath its muddy waters, giant Nile crocodiles over 16 feet long wait in silent ambush. Their dagger-like teeth are ready to snap shut on the weak, turning the river into a battlefield of life and death. On this journey alone, some 250,000 wildebeest and 30,000 zebras perish. Victims of thirst, hunger, exhaustion, and the predators that never miss a chance to strike. This is a brutal odyssey where death is the inescapable soundtrack. Yet for the survivors, it is nature's ultimate trial, a relentless clash between hope and peril. Within this eternal migration, life and death intertwine, painting a grand, ferocious, and defiant portrait upon one of the harshest landscapes on Earth, the Serengeti. A vast flat plain stretching over 5,700 square miles, it is the birthplace of one of the greatest epics the planet has ever witnessed. This is the heart of the Great Migration, a natural phenomenon that has echoed for millions of years, etched into every shift of the land and every breath of the climate, like an endless symphony of life. Cheetah. The lifeblood of countless species begins. Around 2 million years ago, the arrival of the blue wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle laid the foundation for a one-of-a-kind ecosystem. On the Serengeti, the eternal cycle of life was set in motion. When the rains return, green shoots burst from the soil, summoning the great herds to march. And when the dry season scorches the land, the parched earth becomes a call to leave, driving millions onward in search of new promised pastures. According to scientific research in 2023, the Great Migration began some 1.7 million years ago during the Pleistocene epoch, a time when Earth was both unforgiving and nurturing. Since then, nature has forged a survival cycle essential to the savanna, a timeless rhythm that humankind today can only observe from afar, in awe and wonder. Since the 1970s, relentless conservation efforts have slowly brought stability back to the herds. Their numbers began to recover, and the grand story of life continued to unfold, stretching from the distant past into the present. From ancient footsteps to new ones, they press forward across the endless plains. When the rainy season fades, the green mantle of the grasslands withers away. The searing sun scorches the ground, blades of grass shriveling, no longer able to sustain an ocean of life. In that fragile moment, instinct compels the herds to move. But the Great Migration is more than a quest for food. It is a symbol of unity. Countless small, fragile creatures standing before nature's vast grandeur. Herd after herd, they converge into a colossal force, advancing like a roaring river. In their steps, life finds protection. The weak are shielded. Leaders carve the path for those who follow. Together, they become an unstoppable strength. Each pounding hoof echoes like nature's drum, lifting dust and stirring the air. The herds transform into a living wave, a majestic dance of survival. And within every stride, within every breathless gasp, lies a fierce contest with nature itself. A place where life and death march side by side, where hope and hardship weave together into a raw, mighty, unyielding portrait upon one of Earth's harshest lands. The timing of the Great Migration across the African savanna follows no fixed schedule. It is a journey guided by the sky, the land, and pure instinct. The wildebeest do not count the days. They listen to the call of the wind, the rain, and the tender green shoots rising from the earth. The harsh, unpredictable climate of the African plains becomes the invisible hand that maps their endless route, an unceasing journey where life and hardship merge in nature's relentless dance. When the brief rains arrive between December and March, the Serengeti awakens. The first drops fall like liquid life, stirring the dry earth and summoning lush pastures bursting with vitality. According to the Tanzania Meteorological Authority in 2023, an average rainfall of 4 to 12 inches per month transforms the plains into a vast sea of green, a grand feast for millions of new mothers. The grasses of the Serengeti not only sustain life, but form the foundation of an entire ecosystem. Species like Themata triandra and Panicida mezianum flourish with the rains, becoming the lifeline of countless grazers. The Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute reported in 2023 that the mild climate of 20 to 26 degrees Celsius and the lush grasslands create ideal conditions for reproduction. A miraculous cycle where life bursts forth in perfect rhythm with nature. At this time, Dutu, the southern reaches of the Serengeti, comes alive, draped in an endless green mantle. This is the cradle of life, where hundreds of thousands of blue wildebeest gather. Standing 1.22 to 1.5 meters tall and weighing up to 290 kilograms, the wildebeest transform the plains into a living ocean. Within weeks, more than 500,000 calves are born, a magnificent and strategic event known as predator swamping. With so many newborns arriving at once, predators like lions, hyenas, and cheetahs cannot possibly consume them all. They are forced to accept the overwhelming tide. Yet here, there is no room for delay. Just minutes after birth, calves weighing around 18 kilograms must stand. Within hours, they must run, an instinctive race for survival against the predator's claws. Nourished by their mother's rich milk, they grow quickly, reaching speeds of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour within weeks, nearly matching the adults. But the wildebeest, the backbone of the Great Migration, are never free from danger. Lions, hyenas, African wild dogs, and cheetahs stalk their every move. But they are not alone. The power of the herd is their greatest weapon. Thousands packed tightly together, flowing like a living river, leaving predators struggling to single out a target. Adult males form a defensive wall, their sharp curved horns guarding the fragile young. Zebras too converge on Ndutu. Although they can breed year-round, the rains give them a powerful advantage. Each adult, standing around 1.2 meters tall and weighing 350 to 450 kilograms, moves in large groups. Their hoofbeats pound across the savanna like an endless drum. Masters of adaptation, they graze even on coarse dry grasses other animals leave behind, roaming dozens of kilometers in search of water. After 12 to 13 months of pregnancy, foals weighing about 32 kilograms are born, and within just 20 to 30 minutes, they must stand and run with the herd. With powerful kicks and a fierce sense of unity, zebras fight back under the leadership of a dominant stallion. During the rainy season, the Ndutu Plains also become a paradise for Thompson's gazelles. Small, just 60 to 70 centimeters tall, and weighing 20 to 35 kilograms, they possess extraordinary speed. With a short gestation of only 5 to 6 months, tiny fawns weighing 4 to 5 kilograms rely on camouflage, their pale brown coats blending perfectly into the grasses. Each day, the mother nurses her young once before leaving it motionless and hidden in the savanna. As adults, they can sprint up to 80 kilometers per hour, leaping in high starting jumps to warn off predators. In the migration, gazelles often trail behind the larger herds, taking advantage of leftover fresh shoots, minimizing competition and conserving energy. Small but far from weak, they are quick, vibrant notes in the grand symphony of survival, adding agility and brilliance to the magnificent canvas of the Great Migration. After the bustling birthing season in the early months of the year, when hundreds of thousands of calves take their first steps, the lush green pastures of the southern Serengeti begin to fade. By April and May, the rains fall silent. The sun descends like a hammer, scorching the earth until the last ribbons of green curl and die. The tender grass of the southern plains vanishes, replaced by a vast, brittle wilderness beaten flat beneath millions of pounding hooves. What was once paradise is now a wasteland of dust and broken stems, and the weight of an entire continent presses its story into the soil. This is the opening chapter of one of nature's greatest epics, the Great Migration. Southern Serengeti, once the cradle of life, has been emptied of nourishment. But far to the north, across Grumeti, toward the Mara and beyond, the land still breathes. There, rivers still run. There, life still waits. And only that road holds the promise of survival. The herds do not wait for a date. They move when the land falls silent, when the plains can no longer tarry the hunger of millions. Then an ancient command rises in their blood, as old as the continent itself. Go north. And they obey. More than 1.5 million wildebeest, 300,000 gazelles, and 200,000 zebras surge forward like a single living tide. From the sky, they stretch across the earth in lines so vast they seem without end. A river of flesh and dust, rolling with the rhythm of life, death, and renewal. For each animal, there is only one law: survive. Wildebeest, restless grazers with iron stomachs, devour the land beneath them. They cannot pause. A 2023 ecological study confirms that in this chapter of the journey, they move faster than at any other time of year. 6 to 9 kilometers every single day. Not by choice, but by instinct forged through thousands of generations. As the south and center of the Serengeti wither, hesitation becomes deadly. To slow down is to starve. To linger is to fall. With the rains gone, only a web of shrinking streams remains along the western corridor. The herds chase this last breath of water, their hooves sending tremors through the open plains. The savanna becomes a battleground of stamina, a place where only the relentless endure. But the migration is no chaotic stampede. It is a masterpiece of survival strategy. In such overwhelming numbers, the herd becomes a fortress, a living shield that confuses and blinds the predators lying in wait. And yet, as the journey drags on, the mega herd breaks apart, splintering into smaller armies, each group a self-sustaining engine of survival, spreading across the grasslands like shifting currents. Over 750 kilometers, every step teeters between life and death. As the herds reach Grumeti, the air tightens. This is predator country. Lions and cheetahs emerge from the tall grass, silent, patient, deadly. The masters of the hunt know exactly where to strike. At choke points where the tired falter, where the weak drift from the river of bodies. Lionesses crouch unseen, in towering grass, behind thorn thickets, atop hidden mounds, waiting for the single heartbeat when the herd stumbles. Then comes the explosion, a leap, a pounce, a kill measured in seconds. The great migration pushes on, and the plains claim their dues. The prey are not helpless. Zebras, sharp-eyed, alert, become the sentinels of the plains. A 2023 Serengeti Institute study reveals they can spot a lion from nearly 1.5 miles away. And when danger rises, they scream, a piercing alarm that detonates through the herds. Thousands shift in an instant. The savanna transforms into a battlefield on the brink. Speed becomes the ultimate weapon. Zebras and wildebeest slam into 40 to 50 miles per hour, forcing lions to burn every ounce of strength. But lions can't hold that pace. If the prey is fast enough or stubborn enough, they live. And sometimes they fight back. A 500-pound wildebeest armed with 30-inch horns can gore a lion. A zebra's hind kick can shatter ribs or crush a skull. But for the smaller Thompson's gazelle, another nightmare waits: the cheetah, a predator built for one thing: speed. At 60 to 70 miles per hour, its blistery sprint leaves almost no room for escape. Yet gazelles are clever. They zigzag, dart, disappear. If they can survive 20, maybe 30 seconds, the cheetah burns out. and the chase ends. By May and June, a far deadlier test awaits, the Grumeti River. Not as wide as the Mara, but every bit as lethal. Across the far bank lies life, grass, water, hope. But inside the murky depths waits death, the Nile crocodile. Giants, 20 feet long, bone-crushing jaws delivering over 3,700 psi. One strike, and a grown zebra vanishes beneath the surface. When tens of thousands pour into the narrow channel, chaos ignites. White water explodes. Screams echo. Bodies collide in panic. Some drown. Others are dragged under by ancient monsters. But those who make it across earn their reward, the promise of survival. Scattered across the western corridor and Kogatende, the air thickens with tension. The migration is no longer a solid wall. It fractures into smaller, looser groups, and in those cracks, predators find opportunity. Lions, the crownless kings of the Serengeti, wait for this moment. They exploit exhaustion, chaos, and the turmoil of the mating season. Dominant males, drained from constant battles, become vulnerable. Power becomes a burden. Leadership turns into a target. Along the Grumeti and deep in the rugged Singida region, lions turn the land itself into a trap. Dense thickets, broken riverbanks, scattered woodland, natural fortresses, perfect for ambush. Lionesses lie silent, invisible, waiting for the weary to make one fatal step toward water. Then, in a flash, they strike. A burst of fury, a lethal pounce, a kill written in muscle and precision. But lions aren't the only threat. In the shadows, another predator prowls. The leopard, a solitary assassin, a master of stealth, blending seamlessly into the Serengeti's patchy forests and tangled undergrowth. Its rosettes vanish into the vegetation. A leopard can wait motionless for hours, poised for the moment a young zebra or a Thompson's gazelle strays too far. During the mating season, when dominant males are consumed with fighting for territory, herds scatter more easily than ever. With rippling muscles and unrivaled climbing skill, leopards maneuver through rugged terrain, then launch from a tree or burst from tall grass in a flash attack. It's all over in seconds, before the herd even realizes what happened. Data from 2024 shows leopards succeed in 50 to 60% of these surprise strikes, a chilling reminder of their deadly efficiency. And then, carried on the wind, comes the eerie laughter of hyenas. If lions are organized warriors and leopards are solitary killers, hyenas are opportunistic marauders with terrifying pack strategy. Their clans are highly structured, each member with a role to play. When the herds splinter, the young, the weak, the isolated become easy targets. Hyenas aren't just hunters, they're expert thieves. They trail lions and leopards, waiting until the kill is made, but not yet eaten, then swarm in to overwhelm and steal the prize. Unlike big cats who rely on swift precision, hyenas wage wars of attrition, circling, chasing, wearing prey down until it collapses in exhaustion. From August to October, the migration enters its most brutal chapter. Kogatende in northern Serengeti and Kenya's Masai Mara become the epicenter. Every day, millions of wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles converge on a single deadly obstacle: the Mara River. This raging river stretches for miles, a natural wall dividing life from death. On the far side lies Masai Mara, a lush 1,500-kilometer paradise where rain-fed grasses beckon the herds. But to reach it, they must brave the killers that wait below. Giant Nile crocodiles up to 20 feet long, with a bone-crushing bite of 3,700 psi, lurk beneath the muddy surface. Each year, when the herds pour in, the river erupts into a blood-soaked feast. Yet the crocodiles aren't the only danger. The river itself is unpredictable. In years of heavy rain, sudden flash floods can sweep away hundreds in minutes. In drier years, low water makes crossings easier, but exposes the herds to more crocodile attacks, as they are forced to use shallow, ambush-prone channels. A 2024 Serengeti Institute study revealed a deadly trade-off. In flood years, drowning pushes mortality up by 10 to 20%. In drought years, drowning drops, but crocodile kills surge. Every leap into the river is a gamble with death. From July through October, Mara crossings happen daily at multiple points. Sometimes only a few dozen animals take the plunge. Other times, as many as 10,000 surge into the water at once, shattering the river in an explosion of foam. Screams echo across the valley, hooves hammer the river's surface, and crocodiles strike from the depths. It is both magnificent and horrifying, a red ocean at the heart of the savannah. Strangely, the herds often change their minds in an instant. They may cross only to turn back, as if the river exerts a hypnotic pull, forcing them to test the boundary between life and death, again and again. And predators don't wait in the water alone. On the banks, lions and hyenas lie in ambush, ready to snatch the stragglers, the exhausted, the unlucky. The crossing is more than a physical test. It is total war, where every animal must stake its life just to move forward. Those that survive step onto the far bank, into the Masai Mara. This fertile land, an extension of the Serengeti, unfolds in rolling grasslands, river valleys, and scattered woodland. Heavy annual rainfall sustains a rich ecosystem, home to more than 95 mammal species and 570 bird species. But Masai Mara is no safe haven. It is both paradise and battleground. The abundance of prey fuels a thriving predator population. The legendary Big Five, lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo, and rhinoceros roam here. And at the top of it all, the lions. In prides like the famed Marsh Pride, they dominate the land, exploiting the herd's arrival to feast. Small prey may fall to a single lioness, but larger quarry, buffalo, or even young elephants demand a coordinated strike from the entire pride. Masai Mara becomes a stage for some of the most spectacular hunts on Earth. Entire prides hurl themselves at prey weighing tons, while thousands of wildebeests and zebras continue their endless march, knowing that tomorrow will bring another battle. As dusk settles over the grasslands, the Masai Mara sheds its skin. Honey gold fades into a deep indigo sea. This is when the lions take the throne. Their eyes, cold twin stars, slice through the dark. Hunting success soars when night becomes an ally. After days on the move, wildebeests and zebras are spent. One wrong turn, one ragged breath, and the herd's formation breaks. Lions aren't just hunters. They are guardians of ecological order. When lion numbers rise, pressure on grazers rises with them. The grasslands aren't shaved to the root. They get time to recover, to sprout anew. Paradoxically, a lion's fangs act like a comb that keeps the entire ecosystem smooth. A healthy Mara depends on that balance. Plenty of prey, but never beyond what the plains can heal. At the woodland edge and along the riverbanks, leopards glide like ghosts, masters of absence. The less seen, the more they win. They live alone, quietly measuring distance, wind, and a prey's breathing. The Mara's varied vegetation grants them 1,000 curtains, tall grass, thorny acacias, brooding rock outcrops. A leopard's menu is a nimble symphony. From rabbits and birds to impala and gazelles, they creep, then burst, ending the chase in a single beat. Night hunts ease daytime pressure on prey and indirectly help pace the grass's recovery. With a success rate around 38%, leopards rank among the savanna's most efficient killers. Not as loud as lions, not as dazzling as cheetahs, but tireless, precise, never wasting a move. African savanna elephants stride like bold strokes across the Mara's endless page. Adult bulls rise more than 10 feet at the shoulder and can weigh over 6 tons. Females are lighter, both carry memories as deep as flood-swollen rivers, ancestral trails, hidden waterholes, grasslands reborn, passed down like living maps. Elephants are the architects of the savanna. They topple shrubs, opening skylights that let new grass surge. They dig for water in drought, leaving small wells for countless creatures to drink from. Consuming over 300 pounds of vegetation a day, they reshape the land, creating space for impalas, gazelles, hares, corridors for wandering herds, and clear lanes for the chases of predators. Stand in the wind-swept Mara night, and you might feel the sky settle onto an elephant's broad back, nature writing its story in slow, steady steps. Buffalo, by contrast, are a manifesto of power. Curved horns, a helmet-thick boss, a moving fortress. Bulls weigh up to a ton, stand 4 to 5 feet tall, and carry a steel-cold spirit across their brows. They travel in blocks of hundreds, a foe that even lions must weigh carefully. In danger, the herd counterattacks with precision, turning, forming walls, shielding their calves. Field studies show that lion success against large buffalo herds sinks to barely 10 to 15%, not because lions are weak, but because buffalo unity turns individuals into lynx and the herd into a hammer. Within the Big Five, rhinos are the somber chapter. In the Mara roam black rhinos, smaller, wary, volatile, and white rhinos, larger and more common farther south. Both leave their signature prints on the grass. The black rhino, weighing up to 3,000 pounds with horns stretching nearly 5 feet, carries a cruel fate. The stronger it stands, the bigger the target it becomes. Only an estimated 30 to 40 remain in the Mara, an alarm bell for the world. Poaching and the black market turn a single horn, just a body part, into the excuse for tragedy. And so, on moonless nights, patrol teams head out once more. Every step a vow. Without rhinos, the Big Five is broken, and the Mara loses a piece of its soul. From July to October, the grasslands shift their tone. The Great Migration pours over the Mara River like a storm of bone and flesh. Daily crossings erupt, sometimes a few dozen, sometimes 10,000. Hurling themselves into the current, the riverbanks thunder like war. Below, Nile crocodiles hold their breath. Above, lions and hyenas crouch. It is brutal, and yet it renews the system. Mass grazing kickstarts fresh growth. Pounding hooves spread seeds, till the soil. Dung enriches the earth, drawing insects, birds, and the predators that follow. Where herds of giants march in endless lines, shadows follow, predators stalk every step. In an instant, the vast grassland transforms into a brutal battleground for survival. Here, millions face hunger, thirst, exhaustion, and the relentless jaws that pursue them. Where are you watching from? Leave a comment and step with us into the Serengeti. battle for survival in predator territory. Serengeti is the starting point of the Great Migration, one of Africa's 7 greatest natural wonders. From swift predators to resilient prey, every creature becomes a vital brushstroke in nature's living masterpiece. The thunder of hooves rolls across the plains, driving both hunter and hunted into a relentless fight for survival. Leopards stalk with absolute patience, hauling their kills high into the trees, far above the reach of lions and hyenas. In another battlefield, cheetahs strike like arrows, lightning quick, decisive. But their victories are fragile. A kill won can be stolen in moments. Meanwhile, lions seize the chaos, closing in as wildebeest and zebras funnel into narrow paths where escape routes vanish. A chase ignites. Only the strong endure, the weak fall behind. Beneath the waters of the Mara River, shadows wait. Nile crocodiles lie motionless. Silent executioners, awaiting the mass crossing that unleashes an endless feast. Every leap from the water becomes a fight for life. Every narrow escape pushes them one step closer to survival. From November to May, the rainy season revives the land. With 750 to 1,000 millimeters of rainfall each year, the Serengeti woodlands breathe like moist lungs of the savanna. But climate change fractures the rhythm. Food grows scattered, unpredictable, forcing herbivores to travel farther for water and nourishment. As the dry season returns, temperatures soar above 35 degrees Celsius and water sources shrink. Giraffes reach for the tall canopies of acacia and camphora trees, using their 45-centimeter tongues to pluck precious leaves. Buffalo form wide lines across patches of moist grass, each adult consuming up to 35 kilograms a day, yet the heat drains their strength faster than ever. Heights of 3 to 4 meters and weights reaching 6 tons, African elephants are the giants of the earth and the architects of the ecosystem. Their massive ears act like natural radiators, dispelling heat through a web of surface blood vessels. During the harshest weeks, elephant herds journey toward the Gumeti or Rufiji rivers, using their powerful trunks to dig deep into the soil and create temporary waterholes, lifelines for countless other animals. with enormous energy demands, an adult elephant consumes up to 160 kilograms of food per day. As they feed on shrubs and small trees, they open up the land, expanding grasslands and encouraging the growth of new vegetation. Even the paths they walk become ecological corridors, guiding plant diversity and sheltering smaller species. Their dung, rich in nutrients, fertilizes the soil and fuels a thriving, sustainable cycle of life. Yet in recent years, climate change has tightened its grip, placing growing pressure on the survival strategies of these giants who shape the savanna. Droughts are becoming longer, and seasonal rains increasingly unpredictable, raising competition throughout the entire ecological chain. In this challenging environment, African buffalo demonstrate highly effective strategies for adaptation and survival. Adults weighing between 500 and 900 kilograms are recognized by their large curved horns, which form a solid boss across the forehead, an important natural shield during clashes and against predators. Thanks to this structure and their cooperative behavior, buffalo maintain an impressive survival rate of up to 89%, even in areas with dense predator populations. Herds can range from 50 to more than 1,000 individuals, with adult males typically leading at the front, while females and calves stay protected in the center. During the dry season, when temperatures rise to 35 to 38 degrees Celsius, they seek shade under large trees to reduce heat and preserve moisture before moving toward open grasslands to feed as the day cools. Each buffalo consumes 12 to 16 kilograms of grass per day, helping regulate vegetation in transition zones between savanna and woodland. Their movement creates trails that function as secondary biological corridors, supporting the mobility and shelter needs of many native species. Although adult buffalo are rarely brought down due to their size and strong defensive formation, calves remain vulnerable. More than 60% of successful hunts occur at dusk or at night, when herd defenses temporarily weaken. These interactions maintain natural selective pressure on both predator and prey, helping stabilize population numbers across the ecosystem. This year, the dry season lasts longer than usual. Rainfall drops sharply, and water availability declines quickly. Marshlands shrink into crucial conflict zones, where many species must gather at the same limited water sources, increasing interactions between predators and prey. Wildebeest, zebra, and antelope approach these water points cautiously, aware of the constant threat of ambush. Studies show that over 62% of lion ambushes occur within 150 meters of dry season water sources, demonstrating how essential and dangerous these areas become. Within this landscape, the spotted hyena emerges as one of the most resilient and successful predators. with an evolutionary history of more than 22 million years. Hyenas have survived through many geological changes thanks to their powerful jaws, social structure, and adaptable hunting strategies. Clans may include up to 80 individuals, led by dominant females who coordinate group activities, from hunting to territorial defense. Their cooperative approach significantly increases their success rate, particularly when targeting large prey or competing with other predators. Hyenas often hide in tall grasses, taking advantage of soft light and shadows to remain undetected. They observe patiently, waiting for prey to enter open areas they have already identified as ideal for an attack. Their ability to sprint up to 56 kilometers per hour allows them to close in quickly when the moment arrives. Their jaws are significantly stronger than those of many other carnivores, with a bite force nearly twice that of a male lion. This allows spotted hyenas to crush bones and extract the maximum nutrition from a carcass. Beyond active hunting, they also secure food by taking leftovers from other predators or feeding on animals that have already died. This role makes them essential decomposition engineers within the ecosystem. Every part of a carcass is consumed quickly, and every bone-crushing bite contributes to the natural recycling process that supports the wider landscape. In the Serengeti, an estimated population of around 3,000 lions makes this region one of the areas with the highest lion densities on Earth. As apex predators, they have shaped the dynamics of life here for more than 2 million years. Adult East African lions are notably large. Males can weigh up to 230 kilograms and measure 2.4 to 3 meters in length. Their thick mane, found only in males, serves as protection for the head and neck during confrontations. Females, on the other hand, are lighter at 120 to 180 kilograms, yet they form the core of most hunting activities. To sustain their muscular bodies, lions require an average of 4.5 to 7 kilograms of meat per day, and can consume up to 15 kilograms in a single meal. Lionesses often rely on silent stalking, using low vegetation and the low light of dusk to increase hunting success. Woodlands, with enough cover to conceal their approach while still allowing good visibility, provide ideal conditions for short ambushes and coordinated attacks. Speed is not a lion's primary advantage. Instead, powerful hind limbs, strong forelimbs, and deep, forceful jaws allow them to bring down large prey, such as zebra, wildebeest, and even adult African buffalo. Within the pride structure, females carry out most hunts, while males typically intervene when the prey is particularly large or when other predators compete for the same kill. Their robust build, especially their jaw and forelimb strength, enables them to confront even well-defended animals like buffalo. Competition among predators is intense. Lions frequently clash with spotted hyenas, and direct conflict occurs in roughly 38% of large hunts. These rival encounters often involve attempts to steal kills or seize control of food sources. Today, the East African lion is listed as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature due to increasing habitat loss and growing conflict with humans. The decline in lion populations threatens not only the species, but also the stability of the Serengeti ecosystem, where lions play a vital role in regulating herbivore numbers and maintaining ecological balance. The Serengeti woodlands span hundreds of square kilometers of savanna and open woodland. Here, the East African cheetah demonstrates its exceptional hunting abilities. In this open terrain, with tall grasses and scattered tree clusters, every movement becomes as swift and striking as a streak of light. Over more than 3 million years of evolution, the cheetah has developed a lean body, lightweight skeleton, flexible muscles, and long limbs, features finely tuned for speed and precision in every motion. Unlike larger carnivores like lions or spotted hyenas, the East African cheetah does not roar, does not form large prides, and does not engage in direct competition for territorial dominance. Males typically form small coalitions of 2 to 3 individuals to patrol and defend hunting grounds, while females live alone with their cubs, taking on the full role of rearing and teaching hunting skills until the young reach independence. As the sun rises higher, cheetahs use their advantages to stealthily approach prey through tall grasses, often getting within 100 meters of their target. When the moment comes, they launch forward with strides up to 7 meters long, powered by a perfect coordination of limbs, spine, and pelvic muscles. Their long tails act as biological rudders, helping maintain balance and execute sudden turns when prey veers off the run. Cheetahs can reach speeds between 93 to 98 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds, but their top speed can only be sustained over distances of no more than 300 meters before they must stop to recover their heartbeat and breathing. A cheetah's hunt is a highly standardized sequence of behaviors, from targeting, stalking, acceleration, takedown, to biting the prey's throat to block airflow and end the chase within minutes. However, because their build is not suited for prolonged impact if the hunt fails, cheetahs usually abandon the chase quickly to avoid energy loss, especially in grasslands where temperatures often rise above 32 degrees Celsius. Situated at an elevation of about 1,500 meters between Serengeti National Park and the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, Loliondo rangelands experience a semi-arid climate with temperatures ranging from 10 degrees at night to around 30 degrees during the day. The land is dry yet full of vitality, thanks to native vegetation like Themita triandra and Ceteria species that hold the soil, prevent erosion, and maintain the grass layer essential for migrating large animals. For migratory species such as wildebeest, zebra, and Thompson's gazelle, Loliondo is a vital rest stop on their harsh journey. Small streams cut across the grasslands here, offering especially valuable water sources during the dry season, when much of the Serengeti region becomes scarce in water. Loliondo serves as a hub of ecological balance, a place where wildlife and Maasai community livestock coexist, sharing the vast open rangelands. The wide, unobstructed grasslands of Loliando rangelands also provide an ideal environment for the Thompson's gazelle, a small but agile antelope species. They roam throughout the Serengeti. The gazelle herds here, ranging from a few dozen to several hundred individuals, travel alongside the migratory paths of wildebeest and zebra. Living in herds is a survival strategy in an open space like Loliando, where grass is short and the terrain flat. Sharp observation and quick response are key. Each individual in the herd acts as a biological radar station, contributing to an early warning system against the presence of cheetahs, hyenas, or lions. Their diet is simple yet effective: short grasses and a few shrub species, high in fiber and easy to digest, making it an ideal energy source in the dry season when water is scarce. When the rainy season arrives and the grass grows lush and green, Thompson's gazelles take advantage of the opportunity to build up nutrients. During this brief period, they grew rapidly, shed their coats, and prepare for the next phase of migration. When threatened, gazelles use a strategy called high springy jumps on all four legs in sharp, deliberate motions. These leaps serve both to confuse predators and to alert others in the herd of approaching danger. Loliando rangelands are also an ecological haven for the Grant's gazelle. They stand just under 1 meter tall at the shoulder and weigh between 45 to 75 kilograms. With a flexible build and strong legs, this antelope species is well equipped to overcome the harsh challenges of Loliando, where water is often scarce and grass grows sparsely. Grant's gazelles live in small groups or within more complex social structures. It is the cooperation among individuals that enhances their chances of survival. They can reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour to escape the grasp of predators like lions and cheetahs. Curved horns on males are a key distinguishing feature. During the breeding season, adult males display their strength by defending territory and attracting females. One of Grant's gazelle's standout survival traits is their ability to extract water from plants. Their diet consists mainly of short grasses and low shrubs, allowing them to go without drinking water for weeks during prolonged dry seasons. When grass becomes sparse and water limited, they seek out moisture-rich or nutrient-dense shrubs to survive, even migrating to greener areas if necessary. Their digestive system is highly adaptable, allowing them to switch easily between grass and browse as food availability shifts, a survival strategy that helps maintain the ecological balance of the region. The open and demanding environment of the Loliando rangelands also sharpens the Grant's gazelle's speed, agility, and ability to sustain life in wide, unforgiving landscapes. As the migrating herds flood the grasslands, bringing with them the hope carried from the green savannas, the unyielding chases begin. Every sound, every breeze sweeping through the wild grass could signal the start of a life or death struggle. During the dry season, when every sip of water and every patch of grass becomes scarce, predators face intense pressure, with no other choice. They must fight for every meal in the vast yet unforgiving expanse of Loliando. The semi-arid lands of Loliando rangelands stretch out beneath the sunset like a sparse, tree-dotted desert, harsh yet full of advantage. The open grasslands and scattered low shrubs create an ideal hunting ground, where the East African lion has adapted down to every muscle fiber and bone structure to survive and rule. Their manes are no longer thick and heavy like those in wetter regions. They are lighter, shorter, allowing for more efficient heat dissipation under the intense sun and reducing the need for water. As prey thins out and surface water disappears, lion prides are forced to expand their territories. They travel longer distances here than anywhere else. Their hunting behaviors shift dramatically as well. Each night, the lionesses silently lead the way, choosing optimal positions in the shadows, hiding behind shrubs or stones to draw near. And as dusk settles, they strike. A light breeze carries the scent of buffalo horn and dry earth, a sign of a hunter moving through the night. Hunting success improves as the lionesses coordinate, splitting buffalo or antelope herds so the male lions can charge in. The harsh pressure in Loliondo comes not just from the environment, but from every step the prey takes. As water becomes scarcer, lions have learned this truth. Drinking from the prey is faster than searching for water. A large prey animal is more than a meal. It is life itself. The whole pride feeds, absorbs fluids, and sustains itself until the next hunt begins. When the sun no longer scorches the land, the spotted hyena seizes the cooler moments to hunt, conserving water and energy under the blistering daytime heat. Night is their ally. They can travel several kilometers through the dark in search of food and stable water sources. When chasing Thompson's gazelle or zebra, spotted hyenas perform a masterful hunting dance. Their speed and endurance become evident. They can pursue prey over long distances before delivering the final strike. When food is scarce, they join forces in powerful clans, sometimes even taking down prey remains from lions, their direct competitors. Their ability to organize and coordinate as a group allows spotted hyenas to control, seize, and sustain access to food, especially when water sources become increasingly limited. The vast grasslands and low wooded hills of the Loliondo rangelands are also home to the Maasai community and their livestock, living in a delicate balance between human life and untamed wilderness. From cattle to sheep and goats, they appear like scattered dots across the canvas of earth and sky, wandering in search of every precious blade of green in this semi-arid land. With rising grazing demands and expanding population pressure, patches of grass are rapidly worn thin beneath hundreds of hooves, weakening the vitality of the ecosystem. The Maasai move their herds seasonally, giving the grasslands time to recover and carefully selecting grazing grounds to preserve the lifeblood of soil and vegetation. They stand firm amid the sweeping changes of nature and society, embracing ecotourism as a new source of livelihood, honoring their traditions while holding on to hope for the protection of their ancestral land. High above, the tawny eagle soars freely. Its shadow sweeps across the sun-drenched ground of the dry grasslands. Its dense feather structure is a survival strategy, shielding it from the scorching heat of the day and the biting cold at night, optimizing its ability to endure in an environment where only the strongest prevail. From hundreds of meters in the air, the tawny eagle's sharp eyes scan the land below, detecting even the slightest movements. While its targets are often small rodents or birds, its ability to hunt and scavenge from larger predators makes it a vital part of the semi-arid ecosystem. When the moment is right, it dives with force, slicing through the air like an arrow. Its sharp talons and hooked beak, blade-like and precise, are ready to tear into flesh. Loliondo is a harsh land. During the dry season, when food and water are scarce, the tawny eagle reveals its resilience. It is not just a hunter, but a natural cleanup crew, feeding on carcasses, helping prevent disease outbreaks, and keeping the ecological cycle moving forward. But none fulfill that role better than the white-headed vulture. This scavenging bird is often the first to arrive at wild feasts, diving in to tear at the soft flesh of carcasses before the larger predators come to fight over what remains. The white-headed vulture can travel many kilometers in a single day. Soaring high over the grasslands and dry woodlands, it scans the ground below for signs of life or death. Its powerful digestive system can break down diseased tissue without a trace. Silent warriors that cleanse the environment, preserving the health of the vast ecosystem. Meanwhile, the Ruppel's vulture, capable of flying as high as 11,300 meters, is one of the highest flying birds in the world. A specialized hemoglobin structure in their blood allows them to absorb oxygen at extremely low altitudes, a rare trait among birds. In thin air, Ruppel's vultures breathe with ease thanks to a unique lung structure, granting them endurance and the ability to scan vast landscapes far below. When a carcass is left behind on the savanna, they gather in flocks, using powerful beaks and strong skeletal frames to tear through hide, crush bones, and consume remains thoroughly. This behavior not only allows the species to survive in an environment where food is scarce, but it also ensures that no biological fuel goes to waste. The land, the grasslands, and other species all benefit from this process. The sharp eyes of Ruppel's vulture can detect a carcass from great distances. Once food is found, they descend rapidly, often overpowering other scavengers. With strong beaks and large bodies, they not only consume the softer parts of a carcass, but can also digest decomposing tissues, preventing the spread of disease. Their strength has earned them the title of environmental warriors as they help clean up the wild. However, Ruppel's vulture is now facing the risk of extinction. Their population is rapidly declining due to habitat loss, poisoning from chemically contaminated carcasses, and illegal hunting. In the distance rise the kopjes, ancient granite outcrops like biological fortresses emerging from the lush green sea of the Serengeti. Formed millions of years ago through tectonic uplift and weathering, these rocky formations stand anywhere from a few meters to over 30 meters high, creating stark yet strategic stone peaks. Under the blazing sun of the semi-arid savanna, where daytime temperatures can exceed 30 degrees Celsius, kopjes offer perfect shelter for rock hyraxes and aganal lizards. Around the base of the rocks, the thin soil retains moisture for longer, thanks to the way sloped stone surfaces collect rainwater, allowing moisture-loving plants like Kalina and Euphorbia to grow, a rarity in such a vast dry landscape. When the dry season stretches on and the plains become barren, these moist pockets and tiny patches of vegetation around the kopjes sustain insects, birds, and small herbivores like dik-diks. In this way, kopjes become transfer stations in the food chain, drawing in both predators and prey. High atop rocky ledges and hidden crevices, the rock hyrax evades the watchful eyes of formidable predators like leopards and eagles. With special footpads and sweat gland tissues that enhance grip on slippery surfaces, they move between rock and sky like skilled mountaineers. Small and seemingly insignificant, the rock hyrax possesses strong incisor teeth, tough as ivory, shared with their distant relatives, the elephants. These teeth allow them to crush tough leaves and bark under the burning heat of the Serengeti. Groups of rock hyraxes can number up to 80 individuals. With a strong social instinct, they survive through unity, staying highly alert to every whistle or subtle movement that signals danger. Each member of the group is constantly watching, because even the shadow of a soaring eagle above could spell trouble. But prey would hardly suspect that behind those granite outcrops hides a master of stealth, silently setting its sights. For the leopard, kopjes are ideal observation posts, places where it can watch from above, avoid other predators, and hold the advantage of surprise. The leopard is one of the most skilled solitary hunters among the big cats of the savanna. Its pale golden coat, with dark rosette spots, provides perfect camouflage against the rocky terrain and shrubs of the kopjes. A powerful build, strong hind legs, and agile forelimbs allow it to leap, scale rocks, and strike in a matter of seconds. As a solitary predator, the leopard typically approaches its prey quietly, waiting for the moment of least awareness. Then it pounces from above, taking down anything from small antelopes to large birds. Its climbing ability is a crucial survival strategy. Strong muscles and sharp claws allow it to drag prey up into tall trees or deep rock crevices, keeping food safe from competitors like spotted hyenas or lions. Amid the towering rock formations of the kopjes in Serengeti, small lion prides, often just 5 to 10 individuals, survive and thrive in a constrained and unforgiving environment. Unlike the vast grasslands where prey is plentiful, these rocky hills offer limited space and scarce food sources. But it is precisely this scarcity that has shaped a unique survival strategy for lions living here. They use the rocky terrain as both personal fortresses and ambush sites. From the high stone peaks, they can scan the grasslands and bushes below, waiting for migrating antelope herds or other prey to approach. Instead of charging into open fields, they move quietly between boulders, poised to leap down from above, dramatically increasing their chances of a successful hunt. When they capture prey, lions often drag the carcass into hidden rock crevices or shade beneath large boulders to avoid having it stolen by hyenas or other scavengers. Roars echoing across the rocks serve not only as warnings, but also as territorial signals in this highly competitive landscape. Surrounding major rivers like the Gomedi River and the Mara River are the marshlands of Serengeti National Park. These wetlands retain moisture and water, even as the surrounding grasslands and woodlands begin to dry out during the harsh dry season. They attract large numbers of both migratory and resident species, thanks to their ability to provide a stable water source and lush green habitat. Here, plants like papyrus, sedge, and aquatic grasses form dense vegetation that both retains and filters water, offering clean, life-sustaining water to many species. This thriving environment not only nourishes water birds and fish, but also provides a safe refuge for amphibians, keeping them sheltered from the intense Serengeti heat. The tall shrubs and dense grasses also offer cover for larger mammals, helping them escape from predators. A perfect ecological mosaic of a vibrant Serengeti, preserving nature's balance during the toughest months of the dry season. The year-round abundance of water in this area allows the Maasai giraffe to stay hydrated without having to travel long distances. Unlike in other regions, when food is plentiful and water is always available, giraffes can focus on foraging acacia trees and tall shrubs, essential nutritional sources for their massive bodies. With towering heights ranging from 4.5 to 5.5 meters, they can easily scan the surrounding environment and detect predators from afar, an important survival advantage. Their long, powerful legs allow them to move through soft and waterlogged swamp terrain with ease, while also serving as a strong defense when needed. The hind legs of the Maasai giraffe pack considerable power, capable of delivering kicks strong enough to inflict serious injury, helping them defend themselves effectively when threatened. During the rainy season, as the marshes grow lush and green, Maasai giraffes often focus on reproduction. The dense vegetated areas of the wetlands provide ideal birthing grounds, offering safety and protection for newborn calves against potential threats. Soon after birth, the calves are able to stand and follow their mothers, greatly increasing their chances of survival in the challenging swamp environment. This swampy region is also a promised land for the African secret ibis, offering shallow waters and abundant vegetation. This flexible feeding behavior allows the sacred ibis to adapt when food becomes scarce, especially during the dry season, prompting them to move in search of new water sources. During breeding season, they gather in large groups, building nests from sticks and grass atop dense shrubs or low trees to protect their eggs from potential threats. This flock-based structure not only enhances early predator detection, but also increases the protection of their young. Their lightweight build allows them to hunt by slowly wading through water, detecting prey with every deliberate step, and probing with a sensitive curved bill. With long arched beaks and sturdy legs, they navigate murky waters skillfully, avoiding ripples or disturbances as they feed. The freshwater and rich ecosystem here also make this an ideal environment for heron species. Moving gracefully on their long legs, gray herons, black-headed herons, and gray egrets quietly hunt using their sharp beaks. They probe the clear water for prey, where a single careless move from a fish, amphibian, or insect can instantly turn into a meal. Each heron species has its own distinctive hunting strategy. Their gray and white plumage blends seamlessly into the shadows of trees and tall grasses, allowing them to avoid detection by both prey and predators. The uneven waterlogged terrain of the swamps creates perfect conditions for herons to access food sources with minimal disturbance. Their long legs and sturdy clawed feet act like hooks, gripping soft ground and keeping them steady in water and mud. They stand still, patiently waiting, eyes fixed on the water's surface. Then suddenly, a lightning-fast stab of the beak sends ripples across the water. This wait and ambush tactic conserves energy, making it perfectly suited to the swamp environment where food sources cluster around shallow waters. During the dry season, as swamp waters recede and food becomes scarce, these herons are forced to move on in search of new wetlands. Their short-range migrations are a testament to their remarkable adaptability, allowing them to follow the shifting dynamics of the swamps to survive. The herons here are not only skilled hunters, they are also essential links in the fragile balance that defines the Serengeti's wetland mosaic. But perhaps the true silent ruler of the swamps is the hippopotamus. With massive bodies measuring between 3.3 to 4.9 meters in length and weighing up to 2 tons, hippos are among the most imposing creatures in these wetlands. They spend most of the daytime submerged in cool water, with just their eyes and ears above the surface, monitoring every movement around them. The swamps not only provide a refreshing refuge, but also shield them from the harsh sun, protecting their thick skin and allowing them to secrete a red blood-like fluid that acts as both a natural sunscreen and an antibacterial barrier. When night falls, hippos leave their familiar waters. The entire herd moves onto land in search of nutritious food, primarily fresh grasses and shrubs, vital for sustaining their health in this demanding environment. On average, they consume up to 36 kilograms of grass each night, but only after dark, when most other animals have already found shelter. This nighttime grazing strategy reduces competition for food and conserves energy under the intense heat of the day. In this world, the power of the hippo is a force to be reckoned with. Their bite force can reach 1,800 pounds per square inch, enough to intimidate any intruder. Their 40-centimeter-long tusks serve as formidable weapons, which they are ready to use to defend their water territory. Herds of 10 to 30 individuals form tight social systems, where dominant males not only control water access, but also guard the females from potential threats. Hippos are far from random giants in this ecosystem. They forge paths through small streams, creating corridors for smaller species and sustaining life across the swamp ecosystem. And there, in the peaceful flow of the swamp waters, the image of a hippo stands like a natural monument, playing an irreplaceable role in the living mosaic of the Serengeti. Throughout the dry season, when other rivers dry up, the Grumi becomes a magnet for migratory wildlife. Massive herds of wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle rush toward its refreshing waters to drink and survive. The river maintains moisture and nourishes the riverside vegetation year-round, creating fertile ground for species that rely on its abundant resources. Lurking within this river are silent and fearsome predators, Nile crocodiles. With lengths reaching up to 5.5 meters and weights of up to 680 kilograms, the Nile crocodile is one of the largest crocodilian species on Earth. They lie motionless beneath the surface, exposing only their eyes, ears, and nostrils, each part finely tuned for stealthy observation and ambush. Equipped with thick, mud-coated gray-brown skin, Nile crocodiles blend perfectly with the riverbanks. When wildebeest or zebra step too close, they strike, unleashing jaws lined with sharp teeth. Their bite force can reach 5,000 pounds per square inch, one of the most powerful of any living animal. Smaller prey may fall instantly after a single snap. For larger animals, crocodiles employ the infamous death roll, gripping their prey tightly and spinning violently through the water to tear it apart and share the meal with others. Though ruthless predators, Nile crocodiles also possess the remarkable ability to slow their metabolism when food is scarce, allowing them to survive for months with little to hunt. In this way, they are not only hunters, but benchmarks of the survival cycle, forming a vital link that helps maintain the balance of life in the Serengeti. But the migration is not only about survival and death. As the rainy season fades, May signals the moment for the herds to move toward the Gumati River. This is the Western Corridor, a convergence of rivers, riverine forests, and vast, seasonally flooded grasslands. Here, as the migrating herds arrive, the river's flow sustains soil moisture, nourishing young grasses and shrubs. A plentiful feast awaits them. By June, the massive herds pause along the riverbanks, seeking temporary refuge before continuing their journey. With the Gumati River teeming with lurking crocodiles, the crossing becomes a brutal test of survival. Weaker or less fortunate individuals may fall victim to the predators beneath the surface. And during the dry season, the shrinking water supply leaves many animals exhausted, adding even more hardship to an already perilous journey. When moving in large herds, wildebeest form a natural shield against dangerous predators like lions, leopards, and hyenas. This unity not only offers protection, but also enhances their ability to locate and share the abundant food resources found in the Western Corridor. The death of some individuals during migration, in turn, becomes a source of life for others. Wildebeest carcasses drifting in the river provide feasts for crocodiles and later for scavenger birds, creating a sustainable nutrient cycle within the Gumati River. Dense layers of dung enrich the soil, stimulating vigorous grass growth and offering food for other herbivores. This is an ecological cycle, one that sustains vitality, prevents land degradation, and preserves the richness of the grasslands and wetlands across the Serengeti. Leading the way are herds of zebras steadily entering the western corridor of the Serengeti, moving in tandem with the wildebeest in their grand journey. The Gumati River serves as a vital stop, filled with peril, yet a gift from nature itself. With abundant water, the zebra take full advantage, drinking their fill and preparing for the dry stretches ahead. Moving in large groups of hundreds or even thousands, they create a living wall of protection. Adult individuals often take positions along the outer edges, shielding the young within the center and reducing the risk of attacks on weaker members. Their black and white stripes act as natural camouflage. In motion, these patterns create a dazzling blur, making it difficult for predators to single out specific targets. Meanwhile, bold leaders of the herd brave the river first, drawing the attention of aggressive Nile crocodiles and giving the others a better chance to cross safely. With short memories, zebras remember key water sources along their migratory route. This ability to navigate and locate water not only ensures their survival, but also helps shape the ecological map of the Western Corridor. Each migration season, the waste left behind by the zebra creates a natural layer of fertilizer, encouraging the growth of grasses and shrubs. This cycle supports a rich ecosystem, securing food sources not just for zebra, but for many other herbivorous species as well. And so the journey reaches its final destination, northern Serengeti and the Masai Mara, stretching all the way into Kenya. This region is a mosaic of vast grasslands, low woodlands, and the powerful Mara River, creating a dynamic landscape, rich yet unforgiving. With average annual rainfall ranging from 650 to 1,300 millimeters and peak rains from November to May, the area maintains consistent moisture, ensuring year-round food sources for the wildebeest and zebra herds. Daytime temperatures range from 21 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius, providing ideal conditions for predators to use riverbanks and forested areas as strategic hiding spots. The migration is an unmissable opportunity for the lion, the top predator in the Masai Mara food chain. In this vast open landscape with few hiding places, lionesses form coordinated hunting groups. Success rates can reach up to 40% during this time, thanks to collaborative tactics where they silently maneuver prey into vulnerable positions before delivering the final blow. Lions take advantage of rugged terrain and hunt during the early morning or late afternoon, when temperatures drop and prey are least alert. In areas with sparse vegetation, their tawny coats blend seamlessly into the tall grass, minimizing the chance of being spotted. This is when lions hunt most efficiently, conserving energy while securing vital nutrition. Mature male lions play a crucial role in defending territory from other predator groups. Clashes with spotted hyenas are common, especially where territories and food sources overlap. With their superior strength and size, lions fend off rivals, maintaining dominance at the top of the food chain and limiting depletion of shared resources across the region. In this intensely competitive environment, cheetahs do not establish fixed territories. Instead, they move flexibly, avoiding areas dominated by lions and spotted hyenas. This behavior helps reduce unnecessary confrontations and increases their chances of successful hunts. Especially during the first few weeks of a cub's life, mother cheetahs constantly relocate their den sites, often hiding their young in tall grasses to avoid detection. By the time the cubs are 5 to 6 months old, they are taught hunting skills through practice sessions, chasing small prey as preparation for independent life. Cheetahs understand well that their speed is both their greatest strength and their biggest limitation. As a result, they often avoid high-risk prey like adult wildebeest or zebra. Instead, they rely on their unmatched acceleration to chase smaller animals such as Thompson's gazelles and impalas. A sun-scorched ocean of grass, a vast chessboard of life and death with nowhere to hide. This is the Serengeti. The cheetah's speed is subdued by the unity of a baboon troop. The lion's strength bows to the relentless tenacity of the wildebeest. Hunter and prey, who will fall first? Leave your thoughts below and let us move on. Wild Serengeti, a predator's deadly playground. The dry season on the Serengeti Plains. Most animals have sought refuge from the searing 32 degrees Celsius heat, but the cheetah enjoys no such privilege. Hunger does not permit it to rest. The predator has found the ideal ambush site. The shimmering haze cannot obscure the vision of a creature capable of spotting prey from 5 kilometers away. Its target is a mere 50 meters ahead, a solitary warthog. Thick paw pads and a digitigrade stance, walking on its toes, allow the cheetah to approach in near silence. Tall grass conceals its slender frame, a silent ghost amid the blinding sunlight. The gap closes to 30 meters. The cheetah has entered its kill zone. At this range, its legendary acceleration delivers the highest success rate while conserving precious energy. In just 3 seconds, the cheetah reaches a speed of 96 kilometers per hour. Its stride stretches to 7 meters, powered by a flexible spine that coils and uncoils like a spring, driving the hind legs far forward. Semi-retractable claws bite deep into the earth like spikes, delivering absolute traction. But the warthog is no easy target. Its speed is only half that of the cheetah, around 50 kilometers per hour. Yet a low center of gravity allows it to corner relentlessly. Darting in a frustrating zigzag pattern, the cheetah is forced to swing its 80-centimeter tail to maintain balance and stay locked onto its prey. Salvation appears for the warthog, an abandoned aardvark burrow. Most predators would abandon the chase the moment the warthog disappears underground. But hunger has eclipsed the cheetah's caution. It has committed to a high-stakes gamble. The greatest danger lies in the warthog's tusks, measuring between 25 and 50 centimeters. When retreating into a burrow, the warthog rarely enters headfirst. Instead, it backs in, presenting its armored skull and razor-sharp tusks outward. In that instant, the burrow becomes an impregnable fortress. Any cheetah or lion reckless enough to probe that darkness risks a devastating gore. Many inexperienced predators have paid the price with torn snouts or permanent blindness when attempting to breach this doorway of death. The warthog's upper tusks curve upward, sharpening the lower pair each time the jaws close. The constant grinding forms a self-sharpening mechanism, producing daggers so lethal they can slice flesh with a simple shake of the head. In the worst-case scenario, when no burrow is within reach, the warthog chooses the most violent option: counterattack. A mature male warthog can weigh up to 100 kilograms. Charging at nearly 50 kilometers per hour, that mass generates terrifying kinetic energy, like a cannonball slamming directly into its enemy. For the slender cheetah, such an impact is often a death sentence. Yet warthogs prefer to avoid confrontation. They move quietly through elephant grass, towering above their heads. A leader guides the group, tail held upright at a precise 90-degree angle. The tuft of hair at its tip becomes a living beacon, guiding the others safely through the grass. In this dense sea of grass, the signal helps the family maintain formation and prevents any member from becoming separated. This discipline is a matter of survival, because in the Serengeti, danger comes not only from the lightning-fast sprints of the cheetah. Between the warthog and the cheetah, whose survival skills impress you more? Let us know your choice in the comments below. Spanning over 30,000 square kilometers, this ecosystem supports the largest concentration of animal biomass on the planet. Around 4,000 lions and approximately 1,000 leopards patrol this land every single day, maintaining a fragile balance. Within this intricate food web, warthogs act as biological plows. Their constant digging for roots aerates the dry soil and promotes the regeneration of grass. Conversely, the cheetah regulates prey populations, eliminating the weak and diseased from the herd. Two silent warriors, each shaping the ecosystem in their own way. For the warthog, Serengeti is paradise, the green heart of the Serengeti. Here, vegetation remains lush year-round, nourished by underground rivers flowing beneath the plains. But this paradise comes at a steep price. Serengeti is also the capital of apex predators. It is the realm of Africa's most powerful lion prides. A lion's hunt for a warthog is a test of endurance. In theory, the lion is faster. The king of the savannah can unleash bursts of speed reaching 80 kilometers per hour. But its heart is small relative to its massive body, and dense muscle generates extreme heat. As a result, a lion can sprint for only about 200 meters. The warthog is not naturally a long-distance runner of the Serengeti. However, its compact body and efficient respiratory system allow it to sustain high speeds over longer distances than the lion. Here, the endurance of the weaker defeats the explosive power of the strong. Having escaped countless life-or-death chases, the warthog finally finds time to relax. Near termite mounds or dense thickets, a scene unfolds that seems lifted straight from a Hollywood film. A warthog lies flat on the ground, allowing a troop of banded mongooses to climb across its body. The image instantly recalls Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King. This is no cartoon fantasy. It is a serious biological transaction. Living among mud and burrows, the warthog becomes a magnet for parasites. Ticks, fleas, and lice are invisible enemies, draining blood and spreading deadly disease. Without assistance, its health would rapidly decline. This is where the mongoose troop plays its role. To them, the warthog is a moving banquet, offering a free, protein-rich feast. They scour every fold of skin, the ears, even the eyes, stripping away ticks with meticulous precision. The partnership is so effective that the warthog slips into a trance-like stillness, surrendering completely to these tiny cleaners. But as the moment of calm fades, the brutal reality of survival in the Serengeti returns once more. In the nearby bush, the Serengeti's most silent predator lies in wait: the leopard. The warthog senses nothing. Danger crouches just meters away. Rosette patterns across the leopard's coat fracture its outline, allowing the hunter to dissolve into shifting light and shadow. Eyes 7 times sharper than a human's lock onto a single point, the jugular vein. When the distance closes to less than 5 meters, violence erupts. The leopard is built for sudden death. Its body is packed with fast twitch muscle, optimized for explosive strikes rather than prolonged chases. Speed is not sustained here, it is unleashed. The hunt is over, but the meal cannot yet begin. Like the cheetah, the leopard does not fear the warthog's burrows. To a predator, these tunnels promise prey without pursuit. Reduced collarbones form floating clavicles, allowing the leopard to compress its shoulders and slide into impossibly narrow spaces. But victory is brief. Even in the most secluded refuge, safety is never guaranteed. This is the moment when nature's harshest law is enforced. The strong take what they want. The leopard escapes only just, spared from the claws of the king of the savannah. There is regret for the unfinished meal, but survival comes first. This is a battle it cannot win. A mature male leopard weighs no more than 60 to 80 kilograms. The lion, by contrast, is a biological tank, exceeding 200 kilograms, nearly 3 times heavier. With a bite force of 650 pounds per square inch, the lion can crush bone with ease. The leopard is an agile and precise assassin, but brute strength is not a contest. In this arena, the lion dominates completely. Science names this phenomenon kleptoparasitism. Nearly 20% of a leopard's kills are stolen by lions or hyenas. For the lion, theft is an efficient strategy, conserving energy by taking what others have earned. If you were a predator of the Serengeti, would you choose to be a lion, a leopard, or a cheetah? For the cheetah, this rivalry is distant. On the southern plains of the Serengeti, lions appear only briefly each year, following the Great Migration. The landscape here is flat and exposed, stripped of trees and cover, a poor hunting ground for kings. This is the largest natural death racetrack on Earth, and on this open stage, the cheetah shines brightest. Here, female cheetahs hunt Thompson's gazelle almost daily. Hunger presses hard, and cubs wait in the grass. The weight of survival drives the predator into a state of absolute focus. One mistake could mean the end. The numbers are unforgiving. Only 5% of cheetah cubs survive to adulthood. Every sprint is a life-or-death gamble that cannot be lost. The cheetah must advance openly, yet cautiously, but the barren terrain offers nowhere to hide. The chase ignites the instant the gazelle senses danger and explodes into flight. A formidable quarry. Today is a fortunate day. The predator and her cubs will no longer be tormented by hunger, but the cheetah cannot return to them just yet. Even 20 minutes after the hunt has ended, her body temperature continues to rise. She is forced to rest. This is the cheetah's most vulnerable moment, and the baboons know it well. They approach without hesitation, their intent unmistakable, revealed by canines longer than 5 centimeters. Under the command of aggressive alpha males, the troop demands surrender. They lay siege with chilling precision. The pounding of the ground, the savage screams, the cold stares of hunger, all combine into a brutal psychological assault designed to break the cheetah's will. Against the ferocity of the baboon troop, the cheetah is helpless. Here, the tragedy of evolutionary trade-offs becomes painfully clear. To become the fastest creature on Earth, the cheetah signed a harsh contract with nature, sacrificing strength in exchange for speed. Its skeletal frame is slender and light, optimized for aerodynamics. Its claws are blunt, shaped like track spikes for traction, not combat. It carries no weapons for close-quarters fighting, and its fragile body is more vulnerable than ever. The cheetah stands alone, forced to calculate every move. A single leg injury would mean the end, a death sentence for a hunter that survives on speed alone. She remembers her cubs hidden nearby. If the baboons discover them, there will be no mercy. Eliminating future competitors is a calculated strategy. Confronting baboons has never been a wise choice. Solitude is a fatal weakness for a female cheetah, but this rule does not apply to males. They form coalitions, hunting together and defending their kills. A cheetah coalition usually consists of 2 or 3 brothers from the same litter. Unity allows them to challenge larger and more dangerous prey. A blue wildebeest is a prime example. This is a high-risk physical gamble. An adult wildebeest can weigh up to 250 kilograms, 5 times the mass of a single cheetah. It is a living tank, armored with thick hide, curved horns, and razor-sharp hooves capable of crushing a skull. For a lone cheetah, attacking a wildebeest is suicide. For a coalition, it becomes a strategy of surround and dismantle. The hunt ends in decisive victory. The cheetah coalition feeds calmly, without urgency. Unity removes the need to gorge or hide the carcass. In the Serengeti, we are accustomed to seeing the cheetah as a solitary sprinter, but when these warriors unite, even biological tanks must yield. Is there an undiscovered land mammal faster than the cheetah, still waiting to be found? The Serengeti is not merely the kingdom of the lion, nor simply the rat track of the cheetah. It is a brutal, crowded hierarchy where every ecological niche is claimed by a specialized lineage of killers. Apex predators, the architects of balance, have kept this ecosystem trending smoothly for millions of years. Forget the image of cowardly scavengers portrayed in animated films. In the Serengeti, the spotted hyena is not a scavenger but a true hunting machine, defined by the terrifying power of its jaws. Nature has equipped the spotted hyena with a massive, dome-shaped skull designed to anchor dense blocks of jaw muscle, allowing its bite force to reach up to 1,100 pounds per square inch, stronger than both lions and leopards. using conical premolars built to destroy physical structures. The spotted hyena is the only mammal in Africa capable of crushing the long bones of buffalo or giraffe. Its digestive system contains extremely high concentrations of hydrochloric acid, enabling it to break down bone, teeth, and horn, often leaving absolutely nothing behind. A common misconception is that hyenas are mere thieves, but long-term studies in the Serengeti have proven the opposite. Spotted hyenas hunt between 70 and 95% of the food they consume. Unlike felines that rely on short bursts of explosive energy, the spotted hyena possesses a massive heart, constituting nearly 1% of its body weight. This allows it to maintain speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour over distances of 5 to 10 kilometers, turning each hunt into a relentless endurance trial until the prey collapses from exhaustion. What truly allows the spotted hyena to dominate the Serengeti, however, is its extraordinarily complex social structure, an absolute matriarchy. In this kingdom, the female is king. Due to a surge of androgen hormones in the womb, female spotted hyenas grow larger, more aggressive, and completely dominate the males, with even the lowest-ranking female holding higher authority than the highest-ranking male. Their society operates through intricate political alliances that demand social intelligence comparable to that of primates. Neuroscientists have discovered that the hyena's frontal cortex, responsible for reasoning and problem-solving, is highly developed, enabling them to coordinate attacks, recognize individuals by their calls, and hold grudges across generations. When darkness falls, a manic laughter echoes across the plains. This is not a sound of joy, but a sophisticated information coding system. The pitch and frequency of each call reveal an individual's age, social status, and psychological state, often signaling extreme stress or the chaotic excitement of fighting over food. These heightened emotions are fueled by an ancient and brutal rivalry with lions, the deepest feud on the savanna, driven not only by hunger, but by overlapping ecological niches. Lions kill hyenas simply to eliminate competition, while the spotted hyena remains the only species bold enough to challenge the king of the grasslands. With a numerical advantage of 4-1, a hyena clan will rush in to steal a kill or even kill lionesses and cubs. This war between the spotted queen and the maned king is a violent balance of power, one that holds the Serengeti in a state of constant and dramatic equilibrium. Lurking on the periphery of this war is the silent figure of the African wild dog. In the Serengeti, encountering a pack is a rare moment. Classified as endangered, they roam like exiles in their own homeland. Their scientific name, Lycaon pictus, means painted wolf, and each individual wears a unique coat of chaotic black, gold, and white patterns. No two African wild dogs share the same pattern, but do not let that vibrant abstract appearance deceive you. What looks like living artwork is in fact disruptive camouflage, designed to dissolve their bodies into the fractured light and shadow of the bush. They survey their surroundings with massive rounded ears that function like satellite dishes, capturing distant sound signals with remarkable precision, a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. Silent they may appear, but African wild dogs are the true assassins of the savanna. Lions succeed in only 25 to 30% of their hunts, while African wild dogs achieve success rates of up to 85%. Once the pack commits to a chase, the prey's death warrant is all but signed. Discipline and endurance define their lethal efficiency. The hunt begins at speeds approaching 60 kilometers per hour, and the entire formation sustains that velocity for astonishing lengths of time. They rotate the lead runners seamlessly, one replacing another, in a relentless relay that never stops. The prey does not die from wounds, but from exhaustion, and when death comes, it comes swiftly. African wild dogs consume their kills with astonishing speed, finishing within minutes to ensure they are gone before lions arrive to steal the carcass. Yet the brutality of the hunt stands in stark contrast to the tenderness of their social life. Within the pack, altruism is absolute. After a successful hunt, adults return to the den to feed pups, the elderly, and the injured. There is no fighting over food. Pups always eat first, and even a dog with a broken leg, unable to hunt, will be fed and protected until it recovers. This spirit of cooperation is the glue that holds the pack together, allowing them to survive the immense pressures of their world. But the tragedy of the African wild dog lies in its nomadic existence. Too small to defend a fixed territory against lions or hyenas, survival depends on constant movement. Their home range can stretch across thousands of kilometers. Yet, the Serengeti is shrinking under the weight of human expansion and climate change. With nowhere left to run, these painted hunters are slowly fading into history, leaving behind an unfillable void in Africa's wild tapestry. Within that vast mosaic, if you look closely into the tall grass, another assassin reveals itself: the serval. A small cat balanced on improbably long legs, it appears almost like a mistake of creation. It is a biological design perfected for hunting the unseen. The serval possesses the longest legs relative to body size of any cat on Earth. These limbs act as living stilts, lifting its body above the ground and allowing it to move lightly through dense elephant grass that blinds other predators. Its enormous oval ears function like parabolic dishes, rotating independently through 180 degrees to detect ultrasonic frequencies beyond the range of human hearing. In this sea of grass, sight is useless. The serval hunts by sound alone. It stands motionless, ears constantly adjusting, waiting for the faintest whisper of movement beneath the green veil. They are performing precise audio triangulation, pinpointing the exact location of a mouse moving beneath thick grass several meters away. Once the target is locked, the serval unleashes its signature strike. It compresses its body and launches straight upward, tracing a graceful arc that can reach heights of 2 to 3 meters before crashing down like an air-to-ground missile. The serval hurls its entire body weight onto its front paws, delivering a stunning blow at the exact moment it hits the ground. The impact is powerful enough to kill the rodent instantly, or render it unconscious before it even realizes what has happened. The efficiency of this hunting machine is staggering. The serval achieves a kill rate of up to 50%. One life taken for every 2 attempts, the highest success rate among wild cats in Africa. Yet relentless competition in the Serengeti has forced the serval to adapt in extraordinary ways. By nature, cats are creatures of the night, but here, darkness belongs to lions and hyenas. To avoid these dominant predators, the serval has shifted its biological clock, becoming a daytime hunter. It hunts while the lions sleep, exploiting a narrow window of opportunity to monopolize its food supply. And that food supply plays a vital role in maintaining the health of the savanna. Each serval consumes thousands of rodents every year. Without this silent pest control force, rodent populations would explode, devastating grasses and seeds, and stripping the Serengeti of its green foundation. Which predator has impressed you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and keep watching to discover what other hidden assassins the Serengeti has yet to reveal. In a world ruled by giants, small predators must choose one of two paths to survive: invisible speed or reckless courage. The black-backed jackal chooses the second. Do not let its modest size deceive you. These are not passive scavengers waiting on the fringes of a feast. They are the most audacious thieves of the Serengeti, bold enough to challenge death itself by stealing meat from the jaws of lions. This behavior is known as active kleptoparasitism. When a pride of lions is tearing into a kill, the black-backed jackal does not retreat. Instead, it charges in with astonishing aggression, a display of cold calculation and nerves of steel. Working in pairs or small groups, they employ a carefully orchestrated diversion. One jackal darts forward, barking loudly and even snapping at a lion's tail or hind legs to draw its attention. As the enraged lion turns to retaliate, the second jackal flashes in like lightning, snatches a chunk of meat, and vanishes into the bush. It is a dance with death, memorized down to the smallest movement. The distance between a full belly and a lethal blow is measured in millimeters. Yet the black-backed jackal rarely loses. It is too fast, too agile, and understands the psychology of its larger rivals too well. Behind this ferocity, however, lies one of the most remarkable family systems in the animal kingdom. Black-backed jackals are devoted romantics. They form lifelong monogamous bonds, defending territory together, hunting together, and growing old side by side. But their greatest achievement lies in how they raise their young. The black-backed jackal employs the helpers at the den strategy. When a new litter is born, offspring from the previous litter choose to stay, accepting the sacrifice of their own breeding opportunities for an entire year to help their parents raise younger siblings. This is a genetic investment strategy. The Serengeti has an extremely high mortality rate for pups due to other predators. The presence of these nanny siblings, guarding the den and bringing back food, increases the survival rate of the litter many times over. The black-backed jackal family operates like a closed, disciplined military unit. And finally, the secret weapon that allows them to thrive while others decline is a superior immune system. The Serengeti is a hotbed of disease. Distemper and rabies frequently sweep across the savanna like storms of death, wiping out entire packs of African wild dogs and even lions. But not the black-backed jackal. Their bodies possess an extraordinary natural resistance. They survive pandemics that kill their larger competitors. They are the ultimate survivors, tenacious creatures clinging to this harsh land through recklessness, loyalty, and a genome of steel. If the Serengeti is a battlefield, then the Grumeti and Mara rivers are deadly gauntlets. Hidden beneath the murky waters is a creature that has existed since the age of dinosaurs, one that has barely needed to change its biological design for over 200 million years. The Nile crocodile, the most patient predator on Earth. When the dry season arrives and the rivers recede, the Nile crocodile withdraws, slowing its heart rate to the absolute minimum. It can hold its breath underwater for up to 2 hours while active and up to 8 hours while resting. It becomes an inanimate log, waiting for the greatest event of the year, the Great Migration. When millions of wildebeest and zebras are forced to cross the river, the Nile crocodile strikes. The crocodile snap is a masterpiece of hydraulics. Its jaws generate a bite force of up to 5,000 pounds per square inch, 5 times stronger than a hyena, and 8 times stronger than a lion. The impact is equivalent to dropping a small truck onto the prey's body. Once those conical teeth lock shut, nothing escapes. But crocodile teeth cannot cut or chew. Instead, flesh is torn apart using pure physics. This is where the death roll begins. The crocodile clamps down on its victim and spins its body along its longitudinal axis at dizzying speed. The terrifying torque allows it to dismember prey with brutal efficiency. It is a horrifying spectacle, but the only effective feeding method available. After swallowing massive chunks of meat, the Nile crocodile activates another secret weapon, a superacid digestive system. Its stomach secretes acid with an exceptionally low pH, powerful enough to dissolve not only flesh, but bone, horn, hooves, and even steel. This system allows the crocodile to absorb nearly 100% of the nutrients, enabling it to survive for months without food. Yet the life of this cold-blooded predator depends entirely on the sun. On scorching Serengeti afternoons, these ancient monsters lie motionless on the riverbank, mouths gaping wide. This behavior is known as gaping, though menacing in appearance. Thanks to this, their brains are not cooked under the 40-degree heat. But the greatest surprise of this cold-blooded assassin lies not in its strength, but in the mother's heart. The Nile crocodile is one of the very few reptiles to display profound maternal care. After laying her eggs in sandy pits along the riverbanks, the mother fasts and guards the nest for 3 full months, defending her unborn brood against relentless egg thieves such as monitor lizards and baboons. When the eggs finally hatch, those terrifying jaws capable of crushing bone become unexpectedly gentle. With remarkable precision, she uses them to softly scoop each tiny hatchling and release it safely into the water. The tenderness of this ancient monster is a striking paradox, a reminder that in the wild, brutality and love often walk side by side to sustain life. The ecological tapestry of the Serengeti is not woven by predators alone. This landscape is constantly reshaped by colossal grazing machines, creatures we call the architects. Without them, the Serengeti as we know it would collapse, swallowed by impenetrable thorn thickets. The African bush elephant is one of these architects. It survives without fangs or claws. Standing up to 4 meters tall and weighing as much as 6 tons, it is a living force of nature. Even the fiercest predators tread carefully in its presence. Scientists classify the African bush elephant as a keystone species. Remove it, and the Serengeti would unravel. To sustain its immense body, an adult elephant consumes up to 300 kilograms of vegetation every day. In doing so, it becomes a walking demolition machine, toppling trees, sapping branches, and crushing dense thickets underfoot. By preventing vegetation from growing too dense, elephants stop the savanna from transforming into closed forest. They tear open the land, allowing sunlight to reach the soil so grasses can thrive. These grasses feed millions of antelope and zebra. Without elephants, there would be no open plains for cheetahs to sprint across. During the dry season, when rivers fade into dust, elephants take on yet another role, that of hydraulic engineers. Using their tusks and dexterous trunks, they dig deep into dry riverbeds to reach hidden underground aquifers. These elephant wells become the only lifeline for countless species. Once the elephants finish drinking, lions, hyenas, and even small birds are able to access this precious water source. Anatomically, the African bush elephant is equipped with two extraordinary evolutionary tools: tusks and trunk. Tusks are elongated incisors that grow continuously throughout life. They serve as crowbars for digging roots, weapons in combat, and tools for stripping bark from ancient baobab trees. The trunk, however, is a masterpiece of biological engineering. Containing no bones, it is composed of more than 40,000 individual muscle fascicles. It is powerful enough to lift a 300-kilogram tree trunk, yet delicate enough to pick up a single blade of grass. But physical strength is only half the story. The African bush elephant rules the Serengeti, not through brute force, but through wisdom and connection. Elephant society is governed by a strict matriarchy. At its heart stands the oldest female, the matriarch. She is not the strongest member of the herd, but she is its living library. Within her immense brain lies a massively developed temporal lobe, the region responsible for storing spatial memory. The matriarch remembers the precise location of every waterhole and every safe migration route she has traveled across her 60-year life. During devastating droughts, her memory becomes the survival map for the entire clan. Elephants also communicate in ways humans cannot perceive. African bush elephants use infrasound, ultra-low frequency calls below 20 Hz. These sound waves can travel for dozens of kilometers, penetrating forests and rolling hills. Even more remarkably, elephants listen with their feet. Beneath their massive soles lie fatty pads filled with highly sensitive posinium corpuscles, capable of detecting faint seismic vibrations. Through the ground, a herd can sense the footsteps of another herd or detect danger from more than 10 kilometers away. They are, in effect, operating an underground communication network. The African bush elephant possesses an emotional life as complex as our own. They experience grief. When encountering the bones of a deceased relative, the entire herd will stop. In silence, they gently touch the skull and tusks with their trunks, paying solemn respect. In the harsh and unforgiving Serengeti, the elephant stands as an embodiment of memory, wisdom, and the enduring soul of the continent. In the heart of the Serengeti, there lies a place known as the Retina Pool. From a distance, it appears to be nothing more than a pile of giant gray boulders resting silently in muddy water. But as one draws closer, the overwhelming stench and deep guttural growls reveal the truth. This is no rock formation. It is hundreds of hippos packed tightly together, forming a living mass known as hippo soup. The hippopotamus is one of the most misunderstood animals on Earth. They appear rotund, slow, and almost comical. Yet, in reality, they are among the most aggressive amphibious tanks on the continent. Despite spending most of their lives in water, hippos cannot swim. Their bodies are simply too dense to float. Their solid bones cause them to sink immediately. Instead of swimming, they gallop along the riverbed. Hippos move like astronauts in low gravity, using the buoyancy of water to launch themselves forward in powerful bounding strides. Despite weighing between 1.5 to 3 tons, their dependence on water is driven by their extremely sensitive skin. Under the relentless ultraviolet radiation of the Serengeti sun, hippo skin would crack and dehydrate within minutes. To survive, nature has armed them with a remarkable adaptation. If observed closely, red blood-like droplets can be seen oozing from their skin. This is not blood, it is blood sweat, a mucus secretion containing 2 acidic pigments. One of these compounds, hyposudoric acid, acts both as a natural sunscreen, absorbing ultraviolet radiation, and as a powerful antiseptic. It protects the hippo from infection while they remain submerged in murky waters thick with bacteria and waste. But the true danger of the hippo lies not in its skin, but in its mouth. At the retina pool, you will often see hippos opening their mouths as wide as possible. That is the threat yawn. A hippo can open its jaws to nearly 150 degrees, revealing a lethal arsenal. Lower canines up to 50 centimeters long, sharp as razors, and hard as ivory. This is the final warning. If that warning is ignored, the hippo will attack. With a bite force nearing 2,000 pounds per square inch, it can snap a crocodile in two or crush a small boat. They are the deadliest large mammal in Africa. The hippo of the day and the hippo of the night seem like 2 entirely different creatures. By day, they are social beings, gathering in the water to cool off and conserve energy. But when the sun sets, the hippo leaves the water, becoming solitary and sullen. They follow familiar paths known as hippo highways to graze. A single hippo can walk up to 10 kilometers and consume 40 kilograms of grass every night. Their role as ecological engineers lies in nutrient transport. They graze on land and defecate in the water. Tons of this organic matter nourish the aquatic ecosystem, feeding fish and insects and sustaining the life of the entire river. And finally, their relationship with their neighbor, the Nile crocodile, exists as a tense peace treaty. You will often see crocodiles sunbathing on the backs of hippos. This is respect rooted in fear. The crocodile knows its limits. An adult crocodile may be the king of the river, but against a furious male hippo defending his territory, it becomes nothing more than a brittle twig. In these waters, size and madness are the law, and the hippo is the supreme judge. If the Serengeti is a colossal living organism, then the wildebeest is the hot blood flowing ceaselessly through its veins. They are the heartbeat that shapes the rhythm of the entire ecosystem. With an overwhelming population of up to 1.5 million individuals, wildebeest constitute the largest animal biomass on the savanna. Viewed from above, their migrating army resembles a river of black ink surging through a sea of golden grass. An unstoppable force of nature. Their first and most crucial role is that of biological lawnmowers. Wildebeest possess broad muzzles, specially designed to graze on short, nutritious young grass close to the ground. Every day, this army consumes over 4,000 tons of grass. This large-scale grazing stimulates the grass to grow back faster and stronger. At the same time, they deposit nearly 500 tons of dung daily, a massive infusion of fertilizer that regenerates nutrients in the arid soil. Without the wildebeest, the Serengeti grasslands would become overgrown, dry out, and grow vulnerable to fire, shattering the food chain at its roots. But the true miracle of this odd-looking creature lies in its swarm intelligence. The wildebeest has no leader. No alpha gives the orders. Instead, they operate as a superorganism. Every movement is decided through collective instinct and the ancient pull of rain. They can smell moisture and phosphorus in young grass from as far as 50 kilometers away. When one starts running toward the rain, millions follow. What appears to be chaos is in truth a perfect survival algorithm. In a crowd of millions, the chance of any single individual being taken by a lion drops to an absolute minimum, and their ultimate survival strategy is synchronized birthing. Every February, on the mineral-rich volcanic plains of the South, a mathematical miracle unfolds. Within just 3 weeks, around 500,000 calves are born, the equivalent of 8,000 births every single day. This is the strategy known as predator saturation. Suddenly, the savanna is flooded with easy prey. Lions, leopards, hyenas, and wild dogs feed until their bellies are stretched to the limit. They cannot consume such an overwhelming number of calves in so short a time. As a result, the majority of the new generation survives its most dangerous chapter. The calves themselves are biological marvels, genetically programmed to flee from the moment of birth. A newborn wildebeest can stand within 7 minutes. After just 20 minutes, it can already run with the herd at a steady pace. The wildebeest is a clear winner in the game of evolution. It transforms individual weakness into the immortal strength of the collective. It is the life source, the driving force, and the enduring soul of the Serengeti. If the wildebeest are the diligent workers of this ecosystem, then the plain zebra are its fearless pioneers. They are always the vanguard, pushing first into the tallest and densest grasslands. This pathfinding role is shaped by the zebra's unique digestive system. Unlike wildebeest, which depend on young grass, the zebra is a hindgut fermenter. Its stomach is designed to process old, tough, nutrient-poor grasses. Zebras consume the coarse, straw-like tops, stripping away the surface layer and revealing the tender green shoots beneath, preparing the land for those that follow. Yet their most striking feature, the black and white striped coat, remains one of evolution's great mysteries. When thousands of zebras move together, their stripes create a motion dazzle effect. Black and white blur into a chaotic optical illusion. For a lion, a predator that relies on locking onto a single target, this is like staring at a television screen filled with static. Head and tail dissolve, boundaries vanish, and individuality disappears. Research as recent as 2024 strengthens another compelling theory. Zebra stripes act as a shield against tsetse flies and blood-sucking horseflies. The light-reflecting structure of the stripes disrupts the insects' navigation systems, making it difficult for them to land. In an ecosystem teeming with pathogens, this pattern functions as one of nature's most advanced biological hazmat suits. Beneath that striking exterior lies a disciplined and tightly bonded society. Plain zebras do not live in chaos. They form stable herds, each led by a dominant male, accompanied by several females and their foals. When pursued by lions, the male often runs at the rear or deliberately breaks away, drawing the predator's attention so his family can escape. His primary weapon is the legendary rear kick. A zebra's kick can generate an impact force of nearly 3,000 pounds per square inch, powerful enough to shatter a lion's jaw or break a hyena's ribs. Their vigilance does not fade with rest. Thanks to a specialized stay apparatus in their legs, zebras can sleep standing up without expending energy to maintain balance. This posture allows them to transition from sleep to a full sprint in an instant, the moment danger announces itself. And to further strengthen their defenses, plain zebras have forged a strategic alliance with the ostrich, a perfect fusion of senses. The zebra brings exceptional hearing and smell, while the ostrich contributes unmatched long-distance vision. Together they become an early warning system finely tuned for survival on the open plains. Conversely, the ostrich possesses large, keen eyes and a commanding height advantage, functioning as a mobile observation tower, though its sense of smell is weak. Together, zebra and ostrich form a comprehensive early warning radar system. If the ostrich suddenly runs, the zebra follows without hesitation. If the zebra pauses, sniffing the wind with visible unease, the ostrich instantly shifts into high alert. This interspecies cooperation makes them among the most difficult targets for any predator hoping to strike by surprise. In the Moru Kopjes, where ancient granite boulders rise like fortresses from a sea of grass, lives a relic from a prehistoric world, a creature built to endure, to fight, and to destroy. This is the black rhinoceros. A more accurate name reveals its true biological purpose: the hooked lip rhinoceros. Flexible upper lip is a masterpiece of evolution. Acting like a prehensile finger, it allows the black rhinoceros to perform precise, almost surgical feeding on thorny bushes. Its preferred food is the whistling thorn, a plant armed with 7-centimeter spikes, hard as steel and sharp as hypodermic needles. Any other animal would suffer a shredded mouth. The black rhinoceros does not. With lip skin as thick as rubber and exquisite muscular control, it weaves effortlessly through the thorns, targeting the nutritious young leaves beneath. When necessary, it simply crushes the thorns with its powerful grinding jaws. Yet the most infamous trait of the black rhinoceros is its explosive temperament. It is the most solitary, suspicious, and easily provoked animal in the Serengeti. A mature black rhinoceros weighs around 1.4 tons, a living block of armored muscle. When threatened, it does not flee. It seeks to eliminate the danger. From a standstill, this 1.5-ton tank can accelerate to 55 kilometers per hour. The kinetic energy unleashed in a charge rivals that of a small truck slamming into a wall at full speed. Lions or buffalo caught in its path are hurled aside or pierced by its front horn, a weapon made of solid keratin. This aggression, however, is rooted not in malice, but in perception. The black rhinoceros sees poorly. Its vision is effective only within 30 meters. Beyond that, the world dissolves into blurred, threatening shapes. A tree, a lion, or a vehicle all appear the same. Uncertainty triggers action, and so the rhinoceros often strikes first. Aggression, in this case, is fear made kinetic. To compensate for weak eyesight, the black rhinoceros has evolved extraordinary hearing and smell. Funnel-shaped ears rotate independently, pinpointing the snap of a twig from afar. Its nose functions like a living supercomputer. The rhinoceros experiences the world through scent. It marks territory with dung and urine, constructing a detailed olfactory map of borders, rivals, and potential mates. The Moru Kopjes remain the last stronghold of the black rhinoceros. The rugged terrain provides water, shelter, and concealment, keeping them hidden from human eyes and human weapons. The black rhinoceros stands as a symbol of ancient resilience, blind, powerful, and uncompromising, a reminder that this land has never tolerated weakness. But if any creature embodies pure rage in the Serengeti, it is the African buffalo. Professional hunters know it as the Black Death, or the Widowmaker. Its defining weapon is a massive pair of horns, curved like twin hooks. Yet the most terrifying feature lies at their base, the boss. In mature males, these horn bases grow thicker and fuse together, forming a solid shield of bone atop the skull. They form a solid bone shield up to 30 centimeters thick. This natural helmet is so hard it can deflect a close-range rifle bullet, or a full-force slap from a lion without a scratch. When the African buffalo attacks, it uses the boss like a sledgehammer to fracture an opponent's ribs. Then the sharp tips of the horns hook and toss the enemy into the air. The society of the African buffalo in the Serengeti is divided into two opposing worlds. First are the breeding herds, which can number up to 500 or even 1,000 individuals. This is a mobile fortress operated by crowd intelligence. Scientists have discovered their strange voting mechanism. When resting, adult females lie facing the direction they want to go next. The direction receiving the most votes becomes the herd's path. This consensus helps them find the best pastures and the safest water sources with astonishing accuracy. Second is the group of outcasts, the dagger boys. These are old males past their prime, defeated and expelled from the herd by younger rivals. No longer protected by the herd, they cluster in small groups of 3 or 4 and wallow in mud to cool off and rid themselves of parasites. Do not underestimate them. Dagger boys are the most dangerous individuals. They are ready to launch a preemptive strike against anything that invades their personal space, whether lion or human. However, the African buffalo's ferocity is clearest in its mobbing tactic. They are the only herbivores in Africa that actively hunt down predators. When hearing the distress call of a calf caught by a lion, the herd does not flee. Hundreds of tons of muscle and horn surge forward like a tsunami. They surround the lions, cut off escape routes, and drive the king of the savannah up a tree or crush him beneath their hooves. In the Serengeti, lions kill buffalo for food, but buffalo kill lions out of hatred. And if you ever face a buffalo, you will experience the stare. They stop eating, lift their heads, wet nostrils flaring as they smell your fear. Black eyes look down the length of the nose, locked onto you with cold contempt. They calculate distance, assess the threat, and weigh whether to turn you into part of the Serengeti dust. In that moment, you understand why no animal, including humans, wants to challenge the Black Death. Towering at a height of 5.5 meters, equivalent to a 2-story building, the Maasai giraffe is the tallest animal on the planet. They are the living watchtowers of the Serengeti. They are distinguished by dark brown spots with jagged edges resembling grape or oak leaves, a pattern distinctly different from the neat polygonal patches of their northern cousin, the reticulated giraffe. The Maasai giraffe's greatest physical challenge is pumping blood to a brain located 2.5 meters above the heart. To achieve this, its heart is a supercharged engine weighing up to 11 kilograms, with ventricular walls 8 centimeters thick. It must generate blood pressure 2.5 times higher than that of a human. However, when the Maasai giraffe lowers its head to drink, gravity-driven blood pressure rushing toward the brain becomes strong enough to burst blood vessels. To prevent this, its neck vein system contains a complex network of one-way valves and a structure called the rete mirabile. Acting like a shock absorber, it regulates blood flow and prevents death by brain hemorrhage every time the giraffe bends down to quench its thirst. Maasai giraffes are arboreal surgeons. Their favorite food is the leaves of the acacia tree, a species protected by long, razor-sharp thorns. The giraffe's harvesting tool is a tongue reaching up to 50 centimeters in length. This muscular tongue is as flexible as a finger and coated in a thick, glue-like saliva that envelops the thorns, allowing the giraffe to swallow without tearing its esophagus. Notably, the tongue is purple-black or blue-black in color, and the Maasai giraffe spends up to 12 hours a day extending its tongue to feed beneath the scorching equatorial sun. This dense concentration of melanin acts as a biological sunscreen, shielding the soft tissue from ultraviolet radiation. However, the life of a Maasai giraffe is not as peaceful as it appears. Males frequently engage in brutal battles known as necking. Two rivals stand parallel, swinging their 2-meter-long necks like demolition trains. Heads armed with rock-hard ossicones are hurled like wrecking balls into an opponent's ribs. The force of these blows can fracture bones, shatter jaws, or knock a rival unconscious on the spot. The victor earns mating rights, while the defeated often withdrew, bearing injuries that may later prove fatal. Even birth begins with violence. A Maasai giraffe gives birth while standing, meaning the calf's first woman in the world is a free fall of nearly 2 meters onto hard ground. The fall appears cruel, but it is essential. The impact ruptures the amniotic sac, severs the umbilical cord, and jolts the lungs into drawing their first breath. In the Serengeti, a calf must stand and run within 30 minutes. Failure means becoming an easy meal for lions or hyenas lurking nearby. With eyes the size of golf balls and near 360-degree vision from an elevated vantage point, the Maasai giraffe serves as an early warning system for the entire plain. When zebras or antelopes see giraffes begin to run, they do not question why. They follow. Trust in this living watchtower is one of the most fundamental rules of survival in the Serengeti. The Serengeti woodlands stretch across hundreds of square kilometers of savanna and open woodland where the East African cheetah showcases its peak hunting skills. In this vast arena, speed becomes a weapon sharpened by evolution. In this open space with tall grasses and scattered tree clusters, every movement becomes as striking as a streak of light. One wrong step, and the world blurs into motion. Over more than 3 million years of evolution, the cheetah has developed a lean body, lightweight skeleton, flexible muscles, and long limbs, all finely tuned for speed and precision in every motion. It is the savanna's living arrow, built not for power, but for pure, breathtaking velocity. Unlike the roaring lions and bold hyenas, the East African cheetah moves in silence, a shadow on the sunlit plains. It does not claim territory with thunderous roars, nor does it gather in prideful numbers. Males form tight-knit coalitions of 2 or 3, patrolling hunting grounds with precision, while solitary females raise their cubs alone, teaching every flick of the paw, every silent step, every instinct needed to survive. As the sun climbs higher, the cheetah melts into the tall grasses, closing the distance with deadly patience. Within 100 meters of its unsuspecting prey, muscles coiled like springs, it explodes forward, 7-meter strides slicing through the air, powered by a spine, limbs, and pelvic muscles working in perfect, lethal harmony. Its long tail becomes a living rudder, guiding razor-sharp turns as prey twists and bolts. In a heartbeat, speeds surge to 93 to 98 kilometers per hour, covering ground faster than the eye can track, though only for 300 meters before lungs burn and heart pounds in warning. The hunt follows a ruthless, choreographed sequence. Target, stalk, accelerate, strike, and sink the teeth into the throat. ending the chase in minutes. Fail, and the cheetah abandons the pursuit instantly, conserving every ounce of energy under the blazing grassland sun. Farther north, the Lolando Range rises between the Serengeti and Ngorongoro, a semi-arid land at 1,500 meters elevation. By day, the sun scorches to 30 degrees Celsius. At night, temperatures dip to 10 degrees Celsius. Yet life thrives here. Native grasses like Theatriandra and Cetaria bind the soil, prevent erosion, and sustain the vast grazing layer essential for migrating herds. For wildebeest, zebra, and Thompson's gazelle, Lolando is a lifeline, a critical rest stop on their grueling journey. Streams snake through the grasslands, providing precious water in the dry season, when the wider Serengeti thirsts. Here, nature's balance hums. Wildlife and the Sai livestock coexist, sharing the open plains, each step and every heartbeat a testament to survival in this untamed world. The wide open grasslands of the Lolando rangelands stretch endlessly, a stage of survival where every step is measured and every shadow could spell danger. Here, the Thompson's gazelle, a small, agile antelope, roams in scattered herds, from a few dozen to hundreds, moving alongside the great migrations of wildebeest and zebra. In this open expanse, where the terrain is flat and visibility sharp, living in numbers is not just social, it is survival. Each gazelle acts as a living radar, eyes and ears scanning for the faintest whisper of cheetahs, hyenas, or lions. Their diet is simple but efficient, short grasses and a few high-fiber shrubs, perfectly designed to sustain life through the harsh dry season when water is a luxury. When the rains arrive, the grass bursts into lush green, and gazelles gorge, growing rapidly, shedding old coats, and fattening up for the long migrations ahead. Threatened, they spring into action with breathtaking leaps, high springy bounds on all four legs, sudden and deliberate, confusing predators while warning the herd of looming danger. The Lolando grasslands also shelter the Grant's gazelle, slightly taller, stronger, and built for endurance. Standing just under a meter at the shoulder, weighing 45 to 75 kilograms, these antelopes are masters of survival. Small herds or complex social groups provide safety through cooperation, while their flexible bodies and long legs allow bursts of speed up to 80 kilometers per hour, escaping even the most determined predator. Males brandish long, curved horns, asserting dominance during breeding season, defending territory, and attracting mates. Water is often scarce, yet Grant's gazelles have a remarkable ability to extract moisture from plants, grazing on dry grasses or nutrient-rich shrubs to survive weeks without drinking. Their adaptable digestive system lets them shift seamlessly between grasses and browse, a strategy finely tuned to the shifting resources of this unforgiving land. Every day in Lolando hones their agility, sharpens their reflexes, and tests their endurance. And as the great herds surge across the plains, bringing life from distant savannas, the chase begins, a relentless ballet of predator and prey. Every whisper of wind, every rustle of grass, could ignite the explosive struggle between life and death. During the dry season, when every sip of water and every blade of grass is precious, predators face relentless pressure. With survival at stake, they fight for every meal across the vast, unforgiving plains of Lowland. The semi-arid rangelands stretch beneath the fading sun like a sparse, tree-dotted desert, harsh, yet full of hidden advantage. Open grasslands and scattered shrubs become the perfect hunting ground. Here, the East African lion has adapted down to every muscle fiber, every bone, a living instrument of survival and dominance. Their manes are lighter, shorter than those in wetter regions, designed to shed heat efficiently under the scorching sun, reducing the need for water. As prey thins and water vanishes, lion prides expand their territories, traveling farther than anywhere else. Their hunting tactics evolve with the land. Each night, lionesses move silently, choosing shadows, hiding behind shrubs or stones, drawing closer to their quarry. As dusk settles, they strike with deadly precision. A breeze carries the scent of buffalo horn and dry earth, a signal of a hunter moving in the dark. Success comes from coordination. Lionesses split herds, confuse the prey, and the male lions charge in, powerful and unyielding. Scarcity teaches a hard lesson. Drinking from the prey is faster than searching for water. Each kill sustains the pride, every meal a lifeline, until the hunt begins again. When the sun scorches the plains, the spotted hyena waits, patient and cunning. Night becomes their ally. They roam kilometers under cover of darkness, conserving energy and water, seeking both food and life-giving water sources. Hunting gazelle or zebra, they perform a masterful dance, speed, endurance, and cunning in perfect balance. In times of scarcity, clans unite, even stealing from lions, their fiercest rivals. Coordination and social strategy allow them to dominate, seizing and sustaining food when every drop of water is precious. But none fulfill that role more faithfully than the white-headed vulture. This scavenger is often the first to arrive at nature's grim banquets, diving in to claim the soft flesh before larger predators storm in to battle over the scraps. The white-headed vulture can travel vast distances in a single day. Gliding high above grasslands and dry woodlands, it searches for any sign of life or death. With a powerful digestive system that destroys even diseased tissue, it stands as a silent guardian, purifying the land and protecting the ecosystem's health. Meanwhile, Ruppel's vulture, capable of soaring to 11,300 meters, is one of the highest flying birds on Earth. Special hemoglobin in its blood lets it draw oxygen from thin air, a remarkable ability among birds. In those dizzying heights, Ruppel's vultures breathe with ease. Their unique lungs grant them endurance, allowing them to watch entire landscapes from far above. When a carcass appears on the savanna, they descend in force. Using powerful beaks and robust frames, they tear hide, crush bone, and devour the remains. Nothing is wasted. In this cycle, every species benefits. Their sharp eyes detect carcasses from astonishing distances. Once they locate food, they plunge downward, overwhelming other scavengers. Their strength and efficiency earned them the title environmental warriors, the silent custodians of the wild. Yet today, Ruppel's vulture stands on the edge of extinction. Habitat loss, poisoned carcasses, and illegal hunting are pushing this sky-soaring giant toward oblivion. But prey seldom suspects what waits beyond the stone. Behind the granite walls lies a master of stealth, silent, patient, lethal. For the leopard, kopjes are not just shelters, they are thrones. From these heights, it watches undisturbed, avoids rivals, and commands the power of surprise. One of the savanna's most gifted solitary hunters, the leopard blends seamlessly into rock and scrub. Its pale golden coat, patterned with dark rosettes, vanishes into the terrain. Muscular hind legs, agile forelimbs, and a body built for explosive power allow it to leap, scale, and strike in an instant. Quiet and calculated, the leopard waits for the perfect lapse in awareness. Then it drops from above, a blur of claws and muscle, crushing prey from tiny antelopes to large birds. Its climbing prowess is its greatest advantage. Strong muscles and hooked claws let it drag entire carcasses high into trees or deep into rocky cracks, beyond the reach of hyenas and lions. Up here in the kingdom of stone and shadow, the leopard rules alone. Amid the towering rock formations of the kopjes in Serengeti, small lion prides, often just 5 to 10 individuals, survive and thrive in a constrained and unforgiving environment. Unlike the vast grasslands where prey is plentiful, these rocky hills offer limited space and scarce food sources. But it is precisely this scarcity that has shaped a unique survival strategy for lions living here. They use the rocky terrain as both personal fortresses and ambush sites. From the high stone peaks, they can scan the grasslands and bushes below, waiting for migrating antelope herds or other prey to approach. Instead of charging into open fields, they move quietly between boulders, poised to leap down from above, dramatically increasing their chances of a successful hunt. When they capture prey, lions often drag the carcass into hidden rock crevices or shade beneath large boulders to avoid having it stolen by hyenas or other scavengers. Roars echoing across the rocks serve not only as warnings, but also as territorial signals in this highly competitive landscape. The year-round abundance of water in this area allows the Maasai giraffe to stay hydrated without having to travel long distances. Unlike in other regions, when food is plentiful and water is always available, giraffes can focus on foraging acacia trees and tall shrubs, essential nutritional sources for their massive bodies. With towering heights ranging from 4.5 to 5.5 meters, they can easily scan the surrounding environment and detect predators from afar, an important survival advantage. Their long, powerful legs allow them to move through soft and waterlogged swamp terrain with ease, while also serving as a strong defense when needed. The hind legs of the Maasai giraffe pack considerable power, capable of delivering kicks strong enough to inflict serious injury, helping them defend themselves effectively when threatened. During the rainy season, as the marshes grow lush and green, Maasai giraffes often focus on reproduction. The dense vegetated areas of the wetlands provide ideal birthing grounds, offering safety and protection for newborn calves against potential threats. Soon after birth, the calves are able to stand and follow their mothers, greatly increasing their chances of survival in the challenging swamp environment. The Serengeti savanna in East Africa is the stage for one of nature's most awe-inspiring spectacles, the Great Migration. This epic journey sees millions of herbivores, including wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles, traversing vast distances in search of food and water. While the sight of these animals moving in synchronized herds is breathtaking, their migration is fraught with danger. Every step of the journey presents a challenge, testing their resilience and instincts in the unforgiving wilderness. The migration is triggered by the changing seasons, as the rains dictate the availability of water and fresh grass. When the dry season begins, the herbivores embark on their journey from the southern Serengeti to the Masai Mara in Kenya, following an ancient path that their ancestors have traveled for generations. This migration is crucial for their survival, as it ensures they find the resources needed to sustain their massive populations. However, the journey is perilous. One of the greatest threats comes from predators that lie in wait along their path. Lions, leopards, cheetahs, and hyenas take advantage of the herd's movement, targeting the weak, young, or injured. For the herbivores, constant vigilance is required as they navigate predator territory. Despite their numbers providing some measure of safety, individuals often fall victim to ambushes, especially at night when visibility is low. Water crossings are another formidable challenge. Rivers like the Serengeti and Mara become deadly gauntlets for the migrating herds. As the animals wade into the water, they face swift currents that can sweep away the unwary. Crocodiles lurking beneath the surface add another layer of danger, striking with lightning speed to drag their prey into the depths. The crossings, though necessary, often result in chaos, with many herbivores trampled or drowned in the frenzy. Even with these dangers, the Great Migration is a testament to the resilience of herbivores on the Serengeti. Their movements replenish the soil and stimulate vegetation growth, ensuring the savanna remains vibrant. This cycle of life and death is essential, not only for the herbivores themselves, but also for the predators and scavengers that depend on them. This swampy region is also a promised land for the African sacred ibis, offering shallow waters and abundant vegetation. This flexible feeding behavior allows the sacred ibis to adapt when food becomes scarce, especially during the dry season, prompting them to move in search of new water sources. During breeding season, they gather in large groups, building nests from sticks and grass atop dense shrubs or low trees to protect their eggs from potential threats. This flock-based structure not only enhances early predator detection, but also increases the protection of their young. Their lightweight build allows them to hunt by slowly wading through water, detecting prey with every deliberate step, and probing with a sensitive, curved bill. With long arched beaks and sturdy legs, they navigate murky waters skillfully, avoiding ripples or disturbances as they feed. The freshwater and rich ecosystem here also make this an ideal environment for heron species. Moving gracefully on their long legs, gray heron, black-headed heron, and great egrets quietly hunt using their sharp beaks. They probe the clear water for prey, where a single careless move from a fish, amphibian, or insect can instantly turn into a meal. Each heron species has its own distinctive hunting strategy. Their gray and white plumage blends seamlessly into the shadows of trees and tall grasses, allowing them to avoid detection by both prey and predators. The uneven, waterlogged terrain of the swamps creates perfect conditions for herons to access food sources with minimal disturbance. Their long legs and sturdy, clawed feet act like hooks, gripping soft ground and keeping them steady in water and mud. They stand still, patiently waiting, eyes fixed on the water's surface. Then suddenly, a lightning-fast stab of the beak sends ripples across the water. This wait and ambush tactic conserves energy, making it perfectly suited to the swamp environment where food sources cluster around shallow waters. During the dry season, as swamp waters recede and food becomes scarce, these herons are forced to move on in search of new wetlands. Their short-range migrations are a testament to their remarkable adaptability, allowing them to follow the shifting dynamics of the swamps to survive. The herons here are not only skilled hunters, they are also essential links in the fragile balance that defines the Serengeti's wetland mosaic. This challenge becomes even more daunting in the modern era, as the Serengeti faces mounting pressures. The first and most devastating threat is climate change. The engine that drives life here is rain, and that engine is beginning to falter. Meteorological data from 2020 to the present reveal rainfall cycles growing increasingly chaotic and unpredictable. Droughts are lasting longer and intensifying, while the Mara River has dropped to historic lows due to upstream deforestation and excessive evaporation. If the Mara River were to run dry, the Great Migration would collapse. Millions of antelope would perish from thirst before reaching green pastures, triggering the downfall of the predators that depend on them. The second major threat comes from human pressure. Populations in the buffer zones surrounding the Serengeti have quadrupled in just a few decades. Expanding agriculture and livestock grazing are strangling ancient migration corridors, pushing human-wildlife conflict toward a breaking point. In the shadows, another silent war is being fought: snare poaching. Using thousands of wire snares fashioned from motorcycle brake cables, poachers deploy invisible killers across the landscape. According to the Frankfurt Zoological Society, patrol teams remove thousands of these traps every year. These snares do not discriminate. From antelope and zebra to lions, leopards, and even elephants, all can become victims, condemned to slow and agonizing deaths. The Serengeti is no longer an isolated island of creation. It is bending beneath the weight of human development. Yet hope remains. The fight to protect the Serengeti has entered a high-tech era. Tanzania National Parks authorities are implementing unprecedented protection measures. Drones and surveillance cameras now penetrate deep into the bush to locate poaching camps. GPS tracking collars fitted to elephants, lions, and black rhinos allow scientists to monitor movements in real time and intervene the moment an animal enters danger. Desnaring programs are delivering tangible results. Through international cooperation, specialized anti-snaring teams rescue hundreds of animals each year, returning them to the wild.